Welcome, everybody, to another edition of New York Got Game live draft show for round two. Dexter, Henry, Bryan, Fonseca. And right as we start this, we get some news that the Knicks have traded their
Of
pick.
course.
They will now be picking 39. The Knicks, of
course.
course, the Knicks keep everything tight. Everything tight.
I was gonna tell you this. I was gonna be like, we're gonna start on time, and they're gonna trade the pick, and we're just gonna talk about whatever for
But
for
but
trade
this,
picks.
but this fits into something that we're thinking. So the Knicks traded 31 and 55 to the Rockets for 39 and 53. Now,
That's
I
an NFL
told you
trade right there.
it is an NFL. That is an NFL
That
trade.
is an NFL draft trade.
Now, I talked about this yesterday, and I said, "Hey, I could see them moving the 31st pick down a little bit and getting around." I said 38 was the range that I had. So I'm not surprised at this. And this makes me wonder, and we'll have time to talk about this, which will be fun because we'll get to watch who comes off the board and who does not. And there was a lot of competition for this. I wonder what else, if the Knicks got anything else. This is Sham Sharani was first on this, just to give credit. I'm just seeing if there's anything else here.
Someone on Twitter said this is horrible because the Knicks are sacrificing the future.
No, they're not.
Now this puts the Knicks in a Dylan Mitchell range for you St. John's fans out there. Maybe
At 39?
I mean, best players available for ESPN, he's 10th right now. And I thought he was projected mid to late second round, so maybe more mid than late.
I felt like you could get Dylan Mitchell at 53.
Felix Okpara, who I shouted out yesterday, who was raw. I don't know where in the second round he's going to go, but he's somebody that would be interesting to me if he slides there, if I'm the Knicks front office. But listen, Leon Rose, I feel like should have earned the trust of New Yorkers, the NBA consumers, not even just fans of the Knicks, which I know people who generally watch the show are.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying that just basketball people, just general basketball people know that he's good at his job. So, like, you would think, but we'll see. Like, again, not unassailable. Maybe this works out. Maybe it doesn't. This is all a crapshoot. And I mean, if it were me, I just understand what they're trying to do cap wise. So I'm like, yeah, I get it.
What they're trying to do is move down where they could sign somebody to that second round rookie minimum. That will also help them save a lot. There's not a lot of money you're saving between 31 and 39, but you can get either somebody in the second round two-way minimum, or you get second round rookie minimum, or in a two-way deal. You can do either one of that.
Yeah,
you could do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think
that was happening, Bryan.
I think that Isaiah Evans is going to be the
first pick,
the very sought after people here from just people watching the draft, like on social media and whatever. Like, he's the one that's been talked about a lot, which makes sense. Went to Duke, has a game that's very aesthetically pleasing. Also,
defense though, that's my one thing though. Defense,
yeah. But no, I don't disagree.
I like the shot. I like his shot. I do think his game is aesthetically pleasing. I do agree with you. Defense was a concern for me because I even did a little bit more of a deep dive into who I thought they could take if they were at 30 and throughout. Just there's some other guys throughout that I think could be good for them here. That'll be interesting.
Can I give you a list of the best second round picks in NBA history?
We know who number one is. It's got to be Nikola Jokic.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. I mean, Jalen Brunson's got a case for 2 or 3. He's right there. Manu Ginobili probably would be second for me, personally.
I agree. Well, how do you feel about Draymond Green?
I'm not putting him above Jalen Brunson, but he's a really good. He's probably top 5.
I'm not either, to be clear.
Yeah, He's probably top 5 or 6.
Manu, the thing with Manu too is that you just know on another team or in a different like he did not he sacrificed a lot is the point. Like his numbers could have been
Yeah.
much better, but it was the Spurs thing to do, basically, right? So
Mhm.
I think in looking at this, you have Chris Middleton's another one, by the way.
That's a very good one. Is a champion. That is a very, very good one. I would have to agree with that.
Chris
Chris
Middleton's
Middleton.
another one. Carlos Boozer actually was a second round pick, which I forgot about.
Forgot about that too.
Um, Gilbert Arenas, so on
Although
and so forth.
not as high as the other ones I'll put because he kind of flamed out. But yeah. Um
Gotta look at another. That's from a recent ESPN list, which I feel like we're leaving some out. But oh, Dennis Rodman, was he a second rounder? He was actually. He was
in the 86
27th.
86 draft, right?
He was 27th, but the league was not a 30-team league yet.
30 team league. That
Didn't
so
have
he
the
was a
Heat,
second
didn't
round
have the
pick.
Hornets, didn't have the Rappers, didn't have
That's a
the
that's a
Vancouver Grizzlies.
that's I'm putting him over Draymond Green. That's got to be he's got
Dennis
to be top
Rodman?
4. Huh? Yeah,
Dennis
Rodman's over.
Rodman?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Yo, cuz I
I've never compared them before
people
in my life. I'm
people
like thinking
think
about this.
people think about Bulls Dennis Rodman. I encourage people, if you haven't watched, go watch some Pistons and go watch some Spurs Dennis Rodman. Okay? Especially the
I mean,
Pistons Dennis
Bulls
Rodman.
too, obviously,
Bulls too, but like
but
Pistons Dennis Rodman, like
correct,
his defense, ooh,
correct.
ooh, he lock you up. Just so everybody can see, looking at this trade, these are the trade details for the Knicks that they made at the top of the second round here. 39th overall pick. The Knicks acquire from the Rockets. They also get the 53rd overall pick. And they did get, because then you had to be something else, a 2029 Kings second round pick. So getting another second round pick that they can kick down the line could be really good. So the Rockets get from the Knicks 31st overall pick and the 55th overall pick. So
That Kings second round pick might be the first pick in the second round again
yeah,
in 2029. By the way, Mark Price was a second round pick also.
same year, right? Also in
The
86.
first pick in the second round,
Yeah,
right
Mark Price.
before Dennis Rod, two
Right,
slots before Dennis Rodman, actually.
Mark Price has his jersey hanging up in Cleveland. So
I mean, one of the
um,
one of the best shooters ever. The
very
point is,
very underrated
and
pro
this is
point
not
guard.
even to mention like Michael Redd, for example, who's a little more recent as far as the great second round picks. Like you can get a really good player in the second round, but also you could just get like just solid role players in the second round. And I feel like you're seeing more often because again, in terms of the financial efficiencies that NBA teams are looking to exploit, which was a theme of yesterday's show, will probably come up again. Second round picks are getting more opportunities. It was probably more common 10, 20, and 30 years ago for second round picks to not even make the roster, which you often see, frankly, in the history of the WNBA. You see a lot of players drafted in the second round just don't even make the team and maybe never get a shot at making the pros because it was that much harder. And you have more veterans. Now, because teams want to save a little bit of bread, one of the ways you do that is young talent. So they're going to be looking at second rounders, undrafted guys, like all these different teams. We've seen teams trade out of the first round for these reasons. So, like, if you look at more recent drafts, you'll often see more second rounders become role players instead of guys who just
Yeah,
wash out of the league. You'll still get that too. Like the 2015 draft, if you look at the second round, I think half of the dudes literally didn't play in the NBA or didn't play very long. It was something crazy like that. But if you look at the draft 10 years ago for 2016, which would be the year after that, Ivica Zubac was a second round pick at 32 overall.
that's a great one in recent memory.
He's good 10 years later, which is
Right.
meaningful. Like actually, he just had his best season 2 years ago. Malcolm Brogdon was second round pick in that draft, and also, I mean, the rookie of the year, Malcolm
Yep.
Brogdon.
Which also that not a good overall draft, but
No,
yes.
no, but and Georges Niang was another one from that draft. So there was really just those three
I,
actually.
I I think the overall point should be is that you can find talent everywhere. You can find talent that can help your team. And we have Bromero here who asked, what does this say about where the Knicks are heading? Well, it says the Knicks are trying to figure out ways to win on the margin. That's it. Like, this is what this tells you. They are operating as many other teams who are in the second apron situation or of high payrolls are also operating, right? They're trying to win on the margins. And this is what it is. I think they're trying to hit on as many young players as they can while also retaining some of their talent like a Jose Alvarado and others, possibly bringing back a Landry Shamet and still staying under the second apron. This is what this tells you. This team is trying to defend their championship while avoiding the harsh penalties of the second apron.
Mhm.
And I'm not going into all of it as we did last night. And I'm just gonna make the understanding that some people just don't want to understand. Somebody tweeted at me last night and said some people don't care about the business side of things. And I
Okay, but
which
like
he
the
did
sport
this
is a
he or
business.
she wasn't saying that. They were just saying he or she said, I find this interesting. Some fans don't find this interesting. And I'm
Got it.
like, okay. My thing then would be is like, why would you check out a draft show if you don't care about? I mean, whatever.
Good point.
Uh, yeah,
Good
because
point.
like the business is part of the transaction, right? Like I don't see how you can um separate the two. Um,
Right. I agree with that.
Also, as we talked about late on the show yesterday, just because they've moved down and avoiding this still doesn't mean they couldn't trade for a veteran player, as our guy Black Esquire um, brings here.
A normal
He says
commenter.
if these moves are to create salary cap space to bring back proven role players, they are thinking about the future. Yes, they're thinking about Black Esquire's right here, right? Like they are thinking about how they can defend their title most efficiently while still keeping their core, most notably their starting five, or even I'll say their top six to top seven players efficiently. And I think what happens is when we talk about the draft, I just want to be very clear. When you hit on late picks, it buys you time and saves you money. Because the Knicks have appeared, I know it's a very small sample size, but because they have appeared to hit on Mohamed Diawara, a guy who was a contributor through 69 games, shot 36% from downtown, and many of us would expect to have a bigger role in the 2026-2027 season. You now found a guy who graded out as a late second round pick and might be a late first round pick talent and can be a rotation player. That's a huge win because now you have him signed to a multi-year deal. And you can then say, okay, can we find it again? What's going to be interesting to me is who do the Knicks think they can get here at 39? Because remember, I mentioned 38 yesterday on the show.
Or if they trade again.
Or if they trade again, I
Honestly.
hope not.
Um
I'm kind of, I at this point, enough with the trades. Like, you got to
it's
39.
it's 2K level.
I see what they're trying to do. They want to see if they can get somebody for that second round rookie minimum. I
And they've
see,
also added second round picks along the way though.
right.
That's not
Which
small.
helps for future flexibility, whether it is in drafting guys or trading. I think the problem is not for everybody, and I'm not saying this to everybody. I think people can just see what's in the moment. They're not this Knicks front office. If you've watched what they've done, they've been thinking about things down the road. This is why they got a Dottier to take 90% of the salary. This is why they traded Dottier's pick back, got an
Mhm.
extra pick, signed Kolek to the deal he had. The Knicks actually still have some tradable assets. There's still moves they can make. Do not think about this just as a draft. Think about what else they can do in the offseason. Yves Misi was a name that was brought up last night that we talked about. The Knicks have salary and
For a
room to
trade
trade
to be
for him.
yeah.
Apparently, the Lakers have been interested, and the Pelicans didn't like what the Lakers offered. So we'll
Interesting.
see. That's been reported. We'll see. The Knicks might have a better offer. Maybe the Pelicans want more picks. The Knicks already did business with them to get Jose Alvarado. Does that relationship become fruitful? All these things matter here. So Tony HVAC, one of our regulars here too, asked, "Well, who are they targeting?"
Would
I,
love to know.
Yeah,
honestly.
but I do think they're going to have their eyes on some guys in the range of where they could pick around 39. There could be some bigs they could look at. I think they could look at a larger wing. I think they're going to get the best player available, but I do think there's some bigs they could look at. And one guy I'm really focused on, and I mentioned him last night, Ugano Onyensa from Virginia, 6'11" guy. Um, I think he can get even put a little bit stronger, a little bit more weight and get stronger, but he's a really good shot blocker, really good rim runner. If you are losing Mitchell Robinson, this is a guy who could step in to what you're doing. Now, this is also assuming they wouldn't try to say bring back Ariel Hawkporty on a veteran's minimum, on a minimum contract. Possible. I know some Knicks fans might not feel so great about that. I understand that. But if you're looking for a guy you think that could eventually replace, not immediately, to be clear, but some of what Mitchell Robinson gave you. This is a guy who's a really good defensive player, big time shot blocker, averaged about almost 3 blocks a game. And he was coming off the bench for Virginia, right? So limited offensively, but could do some things defensively.
Did we really not get a pick until now?
Yeah.
20 minutes in? Come on, NBA. Like, it's the second round. Let's go.
Yeah, but here's
Bruce Thornton is going to, well,
so
not
no
the Knicks.
Isaiah Evans.
Not the Knicks. A guard also, by the way,
Yeah.
from Ohio State. Bruce Thornton is going to Houston reportedly. This is a trade with the Knicks. By the way, a note that I want to pass from our own Stephen Bondi, who just tweeted this out a couple minutes ago. The Knicks had the 31st pick, but are trading back again and into positions where they could draft players who could potentially sign second round
That's
rookie
what I was
exception
saying.
contracts, just so people know who are just filing in here.
Yep.
Which, and this is an important note, which counts just 1.35 million against the cap.
Yep.
Again, like, you're just continuing to save money here and there. Like, it is penny pinching in NBA terms.
But this is what it is now
But this
for
is
these
what
teams that are expensive.
Right.
Everybody's
And by the way, it's either you do this
right.
and keep your entire starting five together, or one of them go. Like, that's just how these front
That's the
offices are
game,
going to
man.
operate. And your starting five is very expensive, and that's with Jalen Brunson having taken less. Like,
Right.
you to keep that core together, like, you're just not, like, I don't think Mitchell Robinson's going to be back. But I do think you'll bring some of these guys. Like, I expect some Jose Alvarado deal to get done. Although,
I do too.
if he were to leave somewhere, that would
I'd be
tell me a
stunned if
lot.
that's not done.
That
Yeah.
would tell me a lot. He's the one, I think, that of the guys that are going to be free agents, he's the one. And Mo Diawara, they were the two that I'm like, they'll keep them. The rest, I don't know. And
I don't
Deuce
know.
has another year on his deal, so people, because we got asked about that
I
yesterday.
think Shamik
Deuce is under contract.
can get bigger offers elsewhere. I think somebody might. Brian and we were talking about this last night after the show. I think somebody could give him $8 to $9 million. You know, could you get him in that 5 to 6 range? Would he maybe take less to stay with the Knicks? Maybe, and that would benefit the Knicks. But I think somebody might give him more in a multi-year deal. And for a guy who signed back-to-back non-guaranteed
Who can
minimum
cash
deals,
out now, finally?
this is his time for him to cash out for some
Mhm.
money and some security. You can't blame it. It's the same thing for Mitchell Robinson. I know he's had more and he's been injured, but with his injury history, he also might want to cash out. I
He
never
needs
fault
to.
the
Yeah.
athletes. They have a limited time to play, and you got to get your bag. It's just different for teams. Teams, you have a limited window to win, and you're trying to do it within the financial constraints of what we have now in this apron situation. So, I understand it. Tony HVAC 2 says he likes Ugano and Yeso already as well too. Great rim protector.
Please go to Black Esquire's comment, not this one, the previous comment.
Yeah, listen, Black Esquire's right. This is the point I've been making. Black
Well done.
Esquire makes good. Any second rounder who can get in the court is a win. Yes,
Literally.
yes.
And frankly, late first rounders too, kind of.
I will say this for any team, but specifically when you are approaching or at the second apron, any cheap, air quotes, cheap talent that you can get on the court that can be a contributor to winning is huge. Here's the other part. Get on the court and then can you develop them? Okay? Can you get on the court and develop them? And again, this is what we said last night. The Knicks' history with second round picks as of recent has been good. Don't even look at who's here or not here. Even look at some of the guys that are not here. Even a Jericho Sims, who at times played meaningful minutes for the Knicks. Sometimes not always great defensively, but he did do some things. The Knicks were able to flip him into DeLon Wright, who then Tom Thibodeau did not play. But the Knicks have done some good things in the second round. I think DOR is one of their best success stories. Deuce McBride, obviously.
Mr.
Mitchell
Robinson.
Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
This is also, and even our Jared Schwartz wrote a good story on this where he was talking about how the Knicks' development of their young talent might really be the key to them, as Brian steps away, might really be the key to them being able to keep this window open for some time. And this is why we can't just cast aside guys, even a Pacome Dadier. You got to remember, he's only 20 years old. You know, we'll see what he can do. You don't know what Pacome Dadier can be. He still can grow. How the Knicks develop guys or flip these guys that are on good deals, the young, cheap talent, maybe for veteran guys, it keeps the flexibility, right? So that's the thing. Shout out to our guy East Blue Drew. Sure, Black Esquire said 20 minutes to get the pick in. Is Popeyes running the second round? Black Esquire, you don't like that bad service. I hear you on that. Listen, I think Onyenso excuse me, is a guy who I think they could target there at 39. I would be fine with that. I think there's a little bit of work you need with him. Again, I don't know how Brian, you would feel if you say to him, hey, you could be the third center this year and you develop him. Maybe you bring back Huck Purdy, who already knows the system. Or do you go get another veteran? Do you trade for Yves Missi?
That's the answer for me, because how comfortable do you feel with Huck Purdy being like, hey, you're the backup center now?
So here's the thing with Huck Purdy. And if you look at some of the advanced metrics on him, he graded out pretty well defensively. And he had moments, but my eyes also told me there were some times where it was like, no. He did not look good defensively.
For a team that's trying to repeat?
But I was kind of happy that he gave some at times. I remember game 2 against Philadelphia. He gave some good minutes. Did Richie Saunders going to Memphis? Richie Saunders is a guy I had here. Now, here's what I had him on my list here of guys I was looking for. Margaret, I see you in the chat. Hold on. We will get the answer to your question here. 1 second. Richie Saunders is a guy I thought could be intriguing for the Knicks. Chris LeBron, friend of the show, who was on a draft preview show, is interesting. Now, Richie Saunders is coming off of a torn right ACL that he suffered back in February. So he wouldn't be playing for a while. So a team that, like Memphis, that can give him some time to come back, the Knicks need somebody that could hopefully try to help or attempt to crack the rotation this year. The thing I liked about Richie Saunders, he can shoot the ball.
Yes.
Good catch and shoot player.
Yes.
That I really liked about this. And he could defend. He can move well and can defend. Some of y'all might be out here stereotyping and calling him a sneaky defender.
Yep.
I understand that. Yeah, I had to catch myself because we like to stereotype folks, and you look at Richie Saunders and you're going to be like, he can't defend. No, Richie Saunders can move his feet. He's really good defensively. That's what a lot of people had first-round grades on him. Chris LeBron had a first-round grade on him.
Well, if he was healthy,
I think he might be a first-round pick.
Top 20, maybe.
So I like that pick for Memphis.
Yeah.
I definitely like that pick from Memphis.
But to get to and we'll get to Margaret's question now, because we did talk about this.
Yes, Margaret, we thank you for asking us a question here, and for everybody in the chat, we appreciate you joining with us and watching the draft with us as we wait for the Knicks to finally make a pick in these first couple of games. Maybe.
Or I'm in maybe territory now.
I think we're ready no matter what. Stephen Bondi will be joining us after the Knicks make their first pick, hopefully, of the night. Steph will be joining us. But Margaret asked, what did the Knicks do with their trade? So we're going to bring it up here. Again, these are the trade details so everybody can see. Knicks, they made a trade with the Rockets. They traded the 31st overall pick here in the second round and the 55th overall pick. That is going to H-Town. The Knicks, they acquired the 39th overall pick and the 53rd overall pick from the Rockets. And then they also got from the Rockets a 2029 King second round pick. So to get a second round pick there in the future. So those are the details and what the Knicks were able to get in that trade. So a good bit of business. Why that matters, as we mentioned before, because you might be saying, okay, what's the benefit in all this? Well, the Knicks, it's clear what they're trying to do. They weren't trying to pay the money for a first round pick here because they're trying to save money so they can fill out their bench in other ways, cheaper ways is what I'll say. But if they go from 31 to 39, that allows them to then offer somebody a second round minimum contract, which is what did Steph say? 1.34
3.5. Yeah.
35 million dollars. So a lot less. And if you can get somebody that you think is good, preferably probably a big here, although I think the Knicks are going to go for best player available, that'll be it. Now, Margaret, you said you're thinking big as well. Said Knicks need to draft a center. Knicks really needs to try to keep Shamet. He is a sniper. I think in a perfect world, the Knicks would like to keep Shamet. I think a lot of it will depend on what offers Shamet gets elsewhere. I said, and this is again, I don't have a ton of inside knowledge, but from talking to some people, people think he can get anywhere between $8 to $9 million per year from a team that'd be willing to offer him that. Would Shamet take less to stay with the Knicks? Possible. He might really like it here. He has a coach who loves him, and Mike Brown might really like him. I too would probably go the route that Margaret's talking about: draft the center, keep Shamet if you can. I don't disagree with her.
Really?
Yeah, I would too.
Well,
I
Tony
would.
asked a question about that I think is
I would
worth
too.
worth mentioning.
Which is good comments and good questions here.
We
Now,
needed y'all yesterday. Jesus.
yeah, no, great comments and great questions from the people here. We appreciate y'all. East Blue Drew said, "What the hell are we doing with Trey
You love
Jameson?"
Trey Jameson,
East Blue
Drew.
Drew, you love Trey Jameson,
Now,
man.
to be fair,
Yes,
I think
not saying
so.
that he shouldn't. Not saying that.
In an ideal world, and we could talk about Shamet versus Mitch after this, but in an ideal world, I would do the however many second round picks trade for Yves Missi, as we talked about. I was trying to see ways, and we did in our trade deadline episode, ways that you could get Missi here with Jose
Yeah,
Alvarado from New Orleans, using Gershon Yabusele, and I think Pacome Dadier and some sort of draft capital, right? It didn't end up being all that, but Missi still has 2 years left on his rookie scale contract in a situation where the Pelicans are invested in Derek Queen. Pelicans are still for now
for now.
invested in Zion Williamson,
Right.
who has a football contract where they could just get off of it at any point, but they seem
Yeah.
to continue to want to, like, they don't want to just cut him either. The point being, I would try to do that and maybe solidify the backup center spot a little bit more. But the financials of that are even not that easy. He's on a rookie scale contract though, so it's not going to kill you. But you have to see where you're at basically after this draft process. Point being,
Yeah.
if you do bring back Huck Porty on like a minimum, because like, has he really earned anything beyond that? And if you do bring back Trey Jameson on something similar, you could have them in training camp just battle it out for that third center spot. Like you could have.
But and this is where I think a lot of the fan base is going to be like, are they comfortable with that? Now, Trey Jameson did have some good minutes. I think a lot of people remember the game after the NBA Cup in Indiana and then in Naptown where he had a really good game. He does seem ready. I don't know. Maybe the Knicks feel good about Trey Jameson or more than I don't know.
We just haven't seen him.
We haven't seen enough of him.
Like,
I think I need to see more East Blue for me personally.
He's also to be fair, he's been around a little bit more than people think. Also,
Right.
is the other piece of it. You know, it's not like the Knicks just kind of found him. He's been on 5 teams already, actually, in the last 3 seasons. So
sometimes you have to find a home. Tony HVAC says, who do you think is easier to replace, Shamet or Mitch?
Malik Thomas just went to the Kings, by the way.
I saw that. Malik Thomas to the Kings.
That's a pretty good value there. But he's a Kings, though.
Another guard. Yeah. Sometimes it's not sometimes about who drafted who. It's about where the player is going and can they.
By the way, Isaiah Evans, we missed it, went to Brooklyn.
He's going where? To Brooklyn,
33
right?
overall. But I think that's the pick that's going to
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's going to Minnesota. That's the pick that's going to Minnesota. Sometimes you get confused because those trades are not official or can't be official until July 6th.
Right, because everyone wears the hat of, like just it was exhausting. So Minnesota is going to get Isaiah Evans, which, I mean, you want to talk about a team that's made some sneaky good draft picks lately, including Terrence Shannon Jr., who's not high in the draft. Nasri was
No, they
undrafted.
got him late in the first round.
McDaniels, I don't think McDaniels was super high either, as a matter
Well,
of fact.
hey, that's a great point. And then look at a guy that they had traded up to go get in Rob Dillingham, who they then traded away, that they had plans for a point guard. And I saw him at Summer League a couple years ago. And so it shows you that these, again, Minnesota, we talked about this last night, another expensive team that had to make some moves, and now they need to hit on second rounders here. To answer Tony HVAC's question, I think it's easier to replace the rim running center. Now, that
Do
is not,
you?
I do. I
Hmm.
do.
I
I
actually think
do.
I actually think it's Shaman here.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I let us know what you think in the chat, because I think it's harder to find guys that can shoot the three and defend. Shamit's a good on ball defender. Now, here's the thing.
The
I
problem
want to
is
put a caveat though. Hold on.
the problem is, and I think fundamentally, I agree. Like it's harder to get a true 3 and D guy to be in your
Yeah,
rotation as opposed to a rim running center.
I
The rim running center just happens to be one of the best offensive
well, see,
rebounders
that's
in
the
the league.
caveat I was going to bring. The problem is you're
So,
replacing one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. What I'm saying to
but
you is
according to Ian Begley, he's being offered like starting positions. So you can't compete with that at this point.
right, and listen, like I look at it like in terms of valuation. What do I think Mitch is probably valued at?
He's making more money than Shaman next year easily.
But the value is all about what some team is willing to pay him, not what I think he's worth, not what Brian thinks he's worth, not what Tony. I'm just
The
using your name,
market,
Tony. You think he's worth?
right?
Then we all of us. I'm talking about all of us here, Brian and I on the show, everybody in the chat. We are valuing him through the eyes of what you've one seen him do for the Knicks, and two as a backup center. This is the key word. Backup center. Not saying that Mitch doesn't have the capability to start for other teams, because I believe that he does. The concern would be health.
Like the Lakers.
Right. The Lakers, who needs him? Team desperate enough that needs a rim running center that can play defense. The Knicks don't want to probably pay $15 million, which is about what I think he
You
could
can't
get
pay
for his
backup
back.
centers
That's
that much.
that's my thing.
Yeah.
And this is why, but you could go give a Landry Shamet $6 million a year or something like that.
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm saying maybe. You
Yeah.
could do something like that, because you got a guy who Mike Brown trusts a big time, can guard well on the ball, has shown to hit in big moments, is fine if he's in the rotation, out the rotation. I think that stuff matters. So for me, I think it's harder to get 3 and D guys, and Shamit's a 3 and D guy. I'm not saying, I just want to be very clear. I'm not saying it's easy to go find best offensive rebounder in the league. I'm not saying that. Like, it's not. But if you're talking about the prototype of what Mitchell Robinson is as a big, I think it's easier to replace that. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. I just think he transcends the prototype a little bit. But
That's fair. That's fair.
But also to me, if I had to, now this is a different question, Tony, and thank you for the question because I think that was a great question. If it were me and I had to bring one back, but I could bring one back because I don't know if either are going to come back. Honestly,
Right.
you might be priced out from both of them. It's Shamit because I'm just not willing to pay what Mitchell Robinson is
Same.
about to make. Like,
Same.
I'm just not.
Same.
And he's going to be offered a center spot. Like this is for both of them, and this is why I think you could be priced out of both. Like I'll be a little surprised if they keep Shamit. They both have an opportunity to cash out. They're both near 30. Mitchell Robinson's had his injury history or whatever. Like his value now off of this championship, I'm not sure it's ever going to be higher from this point forward. It's probably not.
Mm-hmm.
And then Landry Shamet, the same thing. Like he's been on minimum contracts. He's been kind of a journeyman, settled into a role in New York these last couple of years, mainly this season, and how instrumental he was. Where at times we're saying he's defending better on the ball than Mikal Bridges, and he was for a good portion of the regular season. So that means he is probably at the height of his value too, and he's about to turn 30 years old. So I kind of think, and it's hard to keep championship teams together. Like typically you could lose a starter or two. They're not doing that, but the cost will be like a chunk of the bench, which is something you got to deal with.
Yeah, when you have a good core starting five and you have chances to win a championship like the Knicks will have in the next couple of years, knock on wood, barring health, what you're going to lose in this new era is bench guys. guys towards the end of your 8 or 9 man rotation. In the middle, what you got?
Malik Thomas, that pick we forgot because there were so many damn trades at the end of yesterday after there were none in the first half of the first round, damn near. Malik Thomas actually going to Cleveland, 34 overall. Remember, Cleveland traded out of 29 to get the second round pick
Yeah,
because they wanted
another
to
team,
save some
the
money.
most expensive roster in the league.
Malik Thomas is a talented guard for them. Interesting that they got a guard, but also they just need, again, they're a team that needs to just piece together depth right now because they're trying to save money. And Jake Fisher tweets out that he's confident Malik Thomas would have been their first round pick, but he becomes their second round pick. And we know that's a financially motivated decision.
So they got him. They got him at a great price for them. So
otherwise, Darius Acuff would have been playing with his teammate again
again
in the NBA.
in the NBA, which have been crazy, right? Out in Sacktown. Keep the comments going. We remember Stephen Bondi will be joining us after the Knicks make their first pick, which right now looks like it will be 39. So we'll see. Joe Edwards says we need to make picks, especially a big man and a wing man. We need some tall players to keep up with the other teams. Well, I think the one thing about the wing where I'm not as worried is you got Diawara here back in the fold. And I think
you will see more of him this year.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a bigger role. Important. So that I'm not.
I think he's your sixth man.
I mean, Mike Brown was doing that some games this year. Where he's the first guy off the bench. So
it'll start off being Deuce maybe because of reliability and pedigree or whatever. But
out of everything in Summer League, because I'm just happy for Summer League because that'll give us some men's basketball again, because now I'm all deep in my WNBA watching. But I'm kind of excited to see if he dominates Summer League in the way you like seeing a second-year player that has got some experience do. That I'd be intrigued to see with Diawara in Summer League.
Would you play it? Would you play him in Summer League?
I wouldn't be mad if they did it. I don't need to see it.
I don't think so either.
Cool. They probably
remember that year? Was it 2011, 12? Iman Shumpert had been in the NBA for a couple years already, and then they had him in Summer League for one game, and he was not thrilled about it, reportedly.
Yeah. I remember that.
I think he was playing point guard too, and they just played.
That's why they did it because they were trying to see how he could do with handling the ball and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Glenn Jones 58 here says the Knicks need to get on their big man game. The Spurs drafted 2 big men. OKC drafted another big man to pair with Chet. I mean, listen, the Knicks can always add size
or to replace Chet in the future if Chet keeps doing what he just did.
I think a lot of that was to match up with Wemby. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
The Knicks,
one of y'all are going to do it.
The Knicks are going to need size. I think they need size. And I just think Diawara being part of rotation, much more part of rotation, is going to really help next year. And that gives them some more size. So
Jose, I'm expecting Jose. I'm still penciling him, not pen, pencil. Jose, Deuces and pen, Diawara's and pen. From there, it's where it's like, I imagine we'll see more of Kolek. I'm just struggling to find, okay, are you comfortable doing Kolek, Alvarado lineups together coming off the bench?
You might see some of that.
With Deuce McBride also. That's pretty small.
That's really small.
That's where I'm like, I'm not saying move Kolek, but if you can't really find minutes for him, and I'm curious to see how Mike Brown.
But that's a possibility. That's a strong possibility this offseason.
And maybe that's how you get a backup center. Like
that ding, 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 ding. And he's somebody you can move. We talked about what was one of the deals we talked about at the trade. It was him and Dadier for Yves Missi.
It was Missi and Alvarado. It was Missi and Alvarado for
Dadier, Kolek. And I think
one of them, I think, with Gershon Yabusele and then like multiple second round picks. And then it ended up just being 2 second round picks.
I think we were even dangling what became one of the 2 second rounders that came from the Washington pick. I think that's what we were putting out there in that deal.
And then it ended up being just Dalen Terry in 2 seconds for Jose.
Right.
So, close enough.
Close enough. Joe Edwards here says, why we hold on to Sohan's not gonna be back, man.
You sure?
I don't think so.
You sure? Not that he's a backup big, but I mean, he still don't have his shirt on.
He said we're letting all 2 good players go after they worked them out. Like, I again,
everyone does that though. Every team works out a bunch of players.
I just think people gotta if you don't get what they want in the moment, you gotta let the process play out. It's an off season. Gotta let
Baba
the
Miller
process.
to the Clippers.
I saw that.
That was one that I was like, maybe 39 they get, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, we'll see. Ultra Knicks, shout out to you. You were here in the chat yesterday. He says Mitch is not a starting caliber center. He can't stay healthy. He can't hit a free throw. Listen, some of that factors into the valuation. Like some of that's going to factor into the valuation of what they want to pay. I don't think it's illogical to bring that up or look at
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing. I do think Mitch could start for teams. I'll push back on that a little bit. Now, here's my thing.
How comfortable are you closing with him?
Right, one, and how comfortable are you starting him considering his health injury? I think he has the talent to start for teams. That doesn't mean I'm comfortable paying him starting money or actually doing it. Now, again, the market is sometimes how I make it sound like I'm shitting on Mitch Robinson here, but I'm not. How desperate is the team? The Lakers are really desperate for rim protection, rebounding, a lob threat for Luka. But are they also comfortable giving Mitch starting money for a guy who's played basically every other game and kind of is giving you just 20 minutes a game?
You want to guess where Baba Miller's from? Or do you know this from draft prep?
I don't know.
Spain.
Not what I've thought with the name of him.
Mallorca. British ancestry, though.
Well, colonization. My fun times of watching the World Cup.
Team USA tomorrow, by the way. Are they going to play anybody?
Probably not because they're already in. The game doesn't really matter, but yeah. Margaret here says she thinks Huck Purdy can be good. He needs to work on his offensive rebounding. That's some
Honestly,
defense.
his hands in general.
Yeah. Yeah, he's looking a little Nerlens Noelish out there. Yeah. Listen, if the Knicks have had Huck Purdy in the building for 2 years, if they feel good about him that he's ready to take the leap to be a backup center, fine. I will
Also,
trust the Knicks development here. But
also,
am I comfortable in it right now? No.
If not now, when? Huck Purdy. Also for Trey Jameson, too. You've been on 5 teams. If not now, when? Honestly, they should play for a roster spot, not even a backup spot.
But Tony HVAC here makes a good point, right? He's like, he thinks Huck will be good in time. It took Mitch 4 years before he could stay in the court. This is a good point. Mitch Robinson was trying to block everything and foul everybody.
But you saw Mitch. You saw
see,
things.
You can see the raw defensive principle.
Yes,
I'll say that.
Mitch
was more advanced than him defensively.
Yes, you saw things immediately. Jesus, where you saw the talent right away.
Yeah,
but you weren't sure, and you're still not sure about Ariel Hukporti, basically. And we thought coming into the year, like he would play because Mitch might miss time, Cat might miss time. He has before, but it's been 2 years, man.
Yeah, I think I
have a sick cough. I don't even know where it came from. I'm not even sick at all.
I think that I'm very intrigued because we're looking right now. So Richie Saunders off the board, Isaiah Evans are obviously off the board. Ugano Yenso still on the board for the Knicks. Another guy I had it's a guard
also from North Carolina. If you're looking at centers, Henry Visar from North Carolina.
Henry Visar from North Carolina.
Again, I don't know how I wonder if he's more tall man than big man.
Yeah, he's got to get stronger too. He's on my list. Like I wouldn't be terribly mad because he's a little bit more modern of a big man and will also help you stretch the floor a little bit. But it's fine. One guard I did have my eye on here. And I was talking to my producer, Tommy Hogan, about him. Emmanuel Sharp from Houston. Defender, guy who would kind of be in a deuce-ish kind of role, right? Can hit threes for you. Really good on-ball defense, a bit undersized. Probably not really a lead guard. But if you're thinking about, again, you got to think about sometimes moves down the road. Are you going to trade some of these young guys on the bench like a Pacome or a Kolek to flip to get another veteran? Like, what I would encourage people is don't think of the roster just how you see it right now. There's still moves that can be made. The Knicks do have some tradable contracts on their bench that are under contract and cheap. They might make another move to bring in a guy in a multi-year deal. Yves Missi is a guy we mentioned who still got 2 years left on his deal, on his rookie scale contract. This is how you can like kind of kick this thing down the road. Can you bring in a backup center that has first round talent that is low cost that you could bring into your team? And think creatively for players that you can then go for. It doesn't just have to be the draft pick. There are other ways the Knicks can get creative and try to add a good backup center to their roster, right? And that's the key. You just want them. You want them to do that, right? Justice asks us, how do we feel about Henry Visar? Well, if they picked him, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at it.
I would understand it, but
I'd understand.
I don't know.
I don't know if he's ready. He feels like somebody that's going to be maybe need another year just to really develop.
He's clearly talented, but again, he might be more tall man than big man. Like,
Which, yeah,
like the way the Knicks want to play physically with their centers, not sure he's the best fit for that. But
fair.
Maybe. Who just went to OKC? Ryan Conwell from
Ryan
Cincinnati.
Conwell saw that.
Would it shock you if Ryan Conwell in 2 years is averaging 9 points a game and shooting 38% from three? Because OKC just tends to do that. We actually got a question from Margaret about like OKC drafting all these players. Are they past the second apron? No, but they are also doing some cost cutting. But again, a lot of these things aren't official, and we have to actually see what these contracts are going to be. We're starting to get closer to the 40s, obviously. So now you're going to start to see some of these guys get picked soon who are just on two-way contracts, as opposed to like guaranteed contracts and things like that. Like this is what we're going to start seeing. So
Conwell's going to Miami.
That is interesting. They moved up for him. Well, so same things apply, Dex. Would it surprise you if in 2 years Ryan Conwell's averaging 9 points a game and shooting 38% from three? Because Miami tends to do that also.
They also need shooters.
They need guards, period.
So
because the guards they have are more like Davion Mitchell's an excellent defender. Drew Smith quietly is a really good defender too, but they need creation there.
But look again at,
and they never trade up.
But look at Oklahoma City. Look at Oklahoma City again, moving off another pick they can have because they're thinking about not major financial ramifications, but they're thinking, and I'm very intrigued to see what OKC is doing because their bench is going to look different too. They're making a lot of changes too.
God damn, Ryan Conwell played at South Florida, Indiana State, Xavier, and Louisville across 4 seasons.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's a comment here we have from D Grant 63. He said you have to look at it this way. This Knicks team is a veteran squad. They don't have time for a backup center to develop that might take 2 to 4 years. Yeah. Agreed.
Cosign.
And so you have to get somebody who's either ready to play in some way. This is why the value is this is why I think Onyenso is much, even though I think he also can get stronger, I think he's more ready to come in and play 10, 15 minutes a night than somebody else. I like his defensive ability and the role that you would be asking him to fit. So I'm high on him. I see some other people in the chat have asked, what do we think about him? And I'm like, yeah, I think that would be a good pick for the Knicks. I understand why I generally do like my centers to be a little bit better two-way. So Henry Visar, I would like, but I'm with you, Brian. Feels more tall man than big man, and not really my cup of tea there.
Yeah, I think you want,
if they took him at 39, I wouldn't be mad at it because it's 39th pick in the draft. I'm not going to get crazy about it.
Yeah. And there's just not a lot of bigs anymore. Like I've mentioned Felix Okpara, but I like him more for a rebuilding team than a Knicks team who's trying to do some things immediately. I think because he has raw talent and shot blocking ability that can be developed, but I kind of feel like he'll play in the G League a lot this first season as a second round pick, which sometimes you'll see, but I don't know if the Knicks have time for that.
No,
you'll need something in the pipeline because look, a couple of these dudes are going to have to emerge that are on the roster already. Pacome Dadier is still under contract. Tyler Kolek still under contract. Ariel Hukporti, I mean, they have to give him another one, but that's somebody that they can bring back. Trey Jameson, has been in the
Yep.
system. Kevin McCullers, who we haven't talked about, has been in the system also. Like
Braden Smith to the Bulls.
you need it. It would help you develop this bench if like 2 of those 5 guys maybe pop, and I'm probably even missing somebody else. But
A couple people have mentioned Kevin McCullers,
yeah, and
who
that was the other one that I
who
mentioned where like
yeah, and
they
I
like
used
him also.
they do, and some of the minutes he gave last year. I remember the game he had against Atlanta where he looked very Josh Hardish, off the bench. This was the point that Jared Schwartz wrote in his article. The Knicks might like some of the young players they already have in the program more than people realize. We haven't seen them. Some of them got, Porty got limited playoff minutes. Diawara we didn't see in the playoffs, but they play 69 games this season.
I gotta say, I really like Braden Smith, which I don't think would shock you.
No, it does not shock me at all.
I I I love Braden Smith's game. Like I don't
That
know
doesn't
if it'll
shock me at
work.
all.
I don't know if it'll work in the NBA. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe he can be like Trey Jones. I have no idea. I'm not sure the fit with the Bulls is gonna be exceptional long term, but I like Braden Smith's game a lot.
Shout out to our guy, Greg Film Stuff. He says, "Sup, fellas? How do you guys feel about Ugano Yenso?
Dex keeps
Heard the
mentioning him.
offers. I've been on him, on them picking him. I would like that. Heard the offers that shot blocking skill that Mitch has and plays defense. That's the thing. I'm looking at, again, be very clear. Nobody is going to come here and be Mitch. You're not going to come and be the best offensive rebounder in the league, but can you get somebody who's a solid rebounder, can block shots, be a rim protector, and has good defensive instincts? That's what I think for a backup center to give you 15, possibly 20 minutes a game. Can a
Maybe.
young player?
He's pretty
Maybe.
raw too.
That's also asking a lot. It's pretty raw, but like I would
There's
probably
yeah.
I would probably go with that, and I wouldn't feel bad at that. The Knicks now the Knicks will be up on the clock here, so we're just trying to pay attention to what's going on, but also seeing Chicago's trading Braden Smith to the Pacers for Cam Jones, future swaps and
Oh,
cash. So
of course, of course, of
there you go.
course. Raiders. Now I like the fit because guess who's from Indiana, and guess who will run that system well. Honestly, they need another TJ McConnell.
You know what? I can see that. I can see Knicks
Shoots
fans being annoyed with
better
that
shooter
guy.
though. Better shooter from 3.
So Greg, on Yensu, I'd be fine with him at 39. I think he fits a lot. Here's the thing to watch, and I wonder if the Knicks might even end up, if they do keep, because you gotta remember they still have 47 and 53 now. Would they take multiple bigs here at low, maybe one on a second round minimum, another one on a two-way?
They both are in 2-way range, 47 and 53. Like
Right.
you could
So
honestly, if you're filling out 2 ways, you could do 2 right there, and then the other one could just be somebody undrafted. So
yeah.
or how long has McCullough's been in a 2-way? Has it just been 1 season? I think the
Just
limit
one
is 2.
season.
I think the limit is 2 seasons.
Two.
So
So
he could be on a 2-way again next year, maybe.
So it'll be very interesting. I like some things I saw from McCullers. I saw people bringing it up here. We will see. I'm really intrigued to see what the Knicks do and which young players they like here. So we keep an eye. Knicks now technically on the clock here, so we'll see what the Knicks are able to
Actually,
do.
apparently you could spend 3 seasons on a 2-way with the same team, which I mean that should be
So if McCullers' first year, which was he was injured, yeah, that'd be interesting.
he'll probably be on a 2-way again.
So Lex the Destroyer here says he'd keep Visar and develop him. Listen, Visar, just because I'm with Brian that he's more tall man than big man. If you got him later with like the 47th pick, I wouldn't be mad at that. Like,
Unless you draft them, but you still go out and get an actual backup center. Now they're
all right,
gonna
here
make the
comes here
pick, but
comes the
we don't
next
know if
pick.
they're
Yeah,
gonna keep it. So we'll see.
we'll see.
Huh?
Jack Cale, a
Jack
guard
Hale from
from
Germany.
Germany.
Something
Who?
tells me this might be a stash, or they might not keep it.
Nope. I think the Knicks are trade. I think the Knicks are trading this again.
They're just playing 2K. Trading out, trading out, trading out. This doesn't feel like a well. Who are they trading with?
Yeah. Now I had been reading some stuff on him, right, where he was one of the best young guards on the German under 18 or under 19 team.
And he
So
played for Alba Berlin, and Berlin is legit.
yeah,
As far as
legitly
teams in Europe,
Europe, yeah, legit team in Europe.
hmm
Not seeing anything on the Knicks trade just yet. Um, but yeah, this will be interesting. He was the 2026 Bundesliga best young player. Um, so
there you go.
has some talent, is a really good playmaker. So almost in the vein of think a little bit like a Kolek. Now, can he shoot or defend better than Kolek? That'll be interesting. Last season, Alba
Yes.
Berlin,
Well, I don't
12.2
know about
points per
shooting,
game,
but
40% from the field, 3.5 assists. Um, the shooting people like. So here's okay. Let me say this for everybody
he
that's
played
gonna
at
be
Mega in Serbia, also apparently.
okay. For every
Um,
for everybody that's gonna be like, oh man, they didn't go get a big. There's still a couple more picks.
he's there. Oh, he's being
He's
interviewed.
there, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So this is very interesting. Um, and we'll talk about this more because we have our guy Stephen Bondi, who is joining us now. There's Steph to talk about things. Steph, what's going on, man? Steph, you got us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. What do you make of this pick of the Knicks taking Jack Cale?
I don't know. You tell me. You know anything about him? I
oh,
mean, I just got on. I have no idea.
I know a little, not a lot, but a little bit that I've been reading about him. Bundesliga player of the year last year, good guard, pretty good guard. They like the playmaking ability of him. Shooting has some good upside. That's all I know. Are you shocked they took a guard here? I guess maybe that's the best question for me. Are you
No,
shocked
I
they took?
mean, I listen. Their whole strategy here is to get cheap options possible. Somebody who can go on a two-way contract, maybe. Their whole purpose is to avoid the second apron. That's what they've been doing this whole draft.
Yeah,
So, they got a young guy who could go on the very cheap second round exception contract or a two-way contract and doesn't put them any keeps them about as far away from the second apron as they can hope for.
Steph,
By the
and
way, it's the dumbest. I just saw Bobby Marks talking about this. It
yeah,
doesn't make sense why they're not going on the second apron. I don't understand it.
ooh,
I would love Bobby Marks on TV.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
no, I said ooh. I said ooh
Oh,
because
not who.
not who. I
Oh,
said ooh because we had fans when we did our show last night that were very upset. They're like, why are they going to second apron? They should re-sign Mitch to go to get to the second apron. They should bring back Shamit at all. At all. Do you think they should bring those players back to go in the second apron, or is there another route you would go to that? What what is it you really think about that? Is it just that hey, go defend your championship and spend as much as you can, and then worry about it later? Because the penalty, you're going to have to make some adjustments at some point to the roster. But
yeah. So I mean, it's okay. My understanding of the second apron, I did have a long conversation with Bobby Marks about this a couple days ago. Is you're okay in the second apron for the first year. I mean, the biggest restriction is you can't aggregate players in a trade.
salaries, hmm
So it's going to limit your ability to make an in-season trade. But the whole purpose of the CBA is you can re-sign your players. You just have to pay a lot of money to do it because more than anything, it's a financial burden for Dolan. Because once you get into the second apron, you're paying more tax on every dollar you spend. But you can re-sign all these guys. You're not limited to re-signing your own players. You can re-sign Mitchell Robinson. You can re-sign Landry Shamet. The stipulation is you need to be in the second apron. And then you have these restrictions, which aren't as bad in the first year than they will be in the second year or whatever the calculus is with it's 3 and 5 years or something like that. I don't know the whole rule, but the first year I do know it's not that bad. And when you look at the restrictions that they'd face, it's really just not being able to aggregate
aggregate
guys in the trade.
salaries. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not really be able to aggregate salaries to make an in season trade. Do you think with is some of it might have to do, particularly with Mitch, Steph, that they just don't value paying him at a certain price as a backup center? Do you think that could have anything to do with Dolan's hesitancy to pay the money in the second apron, just looking at Mitch's value?
I mean, it could, but you know, what is you can't replace him. I mean, you could say, is Ariel Hukporti going to replace if you can
Well, we do.
re-sign
Yeah,
Ariel Hukporti on a minimum contract? Is he going to replace Mitchell Robinson? Are you going to draft somebody with the 55th pick? Um, or what are they at 55 now or 53 or whatever they are?
53 now, 47 and
Yeah.
53.
They're 53. Are you going to draft somebody with the 53rd pick that you're going to put as your backup center? They need a backup center. Like, it's non-negotiable. Cat isn't going to play 40 minutes a game. He's going to get in foul trouble. He's going to miss some games here and there. Mitchell Robinson played a big role last season. I don't understand, if you have the ability to re-sign him, why you wouldn't do it. And it's why people around the league, I mean, listen,
Mhm.
I thought that somebody was going to convince Dolan to go into the second apron, and that his philosophy here doesn't make sense. But watching this draft play out, it doesn't look like. I mean, every move they've made so far suggests that they're trying to avoid getting into the second apron.
Do you think there's any chance between, I guess, regardless of what happens in the next couple of picks that they have, if they even pick, is there any chance that this changes by the time we get to Tuesday night at 6 p.m. and they might say, okay, you know what, we'll go into the second apron? Do you think there's any chance that could change?
I do think there's a chance. I mean, when you look at what are the alternatives? When you have to look at what the alternatives are, this is a small championship window. Um, you know, they're coming off a title. This isn't like, all right, we have to skimp a little bit because we're worried about the future. No, like, you won the championship. I think the players deserve the chance to run it back.
Steph,
Oh, go ahead.
do you think that maybe they'd rather go into the second apron next year and not deal with it now, because the team is just going to get more expensive as they keep their starting five together, and then you have the Karl Anthony Towns contract extension potentially coming up. Brunson's not going to hit his extension yet, but that extension is eventually going to come. Do you think they're preparing to hit the second apron later as opposed to now?
I mean, maybe I don't know. Like, at that point, I know that there's been chatter. I don't know how real it is that Josh Hart and Cat can maybe, like, do some team friendly stuff to keep this team together. You can't for next season. They're locked into their contracts. And the only way you can bring back the bench is if you resign, if you go into the second apron. And then, as the Boston Celtics showed last year, it's not that difficult to get out of the second apron. You just got to make trades. So if you're worried about that in the future, you can just get, there's never been a team. I know the history of the second apron is not long, but there's never been a team that's been in the second apron for consecutive seasons.
Yeah, for 2 years. Never, that hasn't happened. So you're gonna. I guess that's the thing I've been saying is you're gonna have to make the decision on the money at some point. It's just interesting if they make it now or not. There was an NBA trade that just went down. The Pistons are trading Isaiah Stewart to the Grizzlies for 3 future second round picks. Interesting.
Although, I mean,
Interesting trade there.
that's a great place for Isaiah Stewart to be
Can't disagree.
in terms
I'm
of
not sure he
franchise
wants to be in
history.
Memphis. I'm
Yeah,
not sure he wants to be in Memphis, but
well, they need him.
Yeah, I
Culture
think
setter.
my understanding was he thought he didn't want to. He wanted a bigger role, like being Jalen Duren's backup wasn't his thing.
Interesting there.
He didn't earn a bigger role with
What's
the
that?
way he played during the play. He didn't earn a bigger role with the way he played during the playoffs.
That's true.
Fair point.
I wanted to
Go
ask
ahead.
this to Steph, just so to be clear. You think Mitchell Robinson is worth getting into the second apron for this coming season?
Yeah, I mean, because there's no alternative. I mean, you can say what you want about him. His health is, he broke his hand right before the finals. But what are you telling me is the alternative? Like, you just won a championship. So if you can, and maybe Brock Aller has, a trick up his sleeve, but I can't see what it is. So if you can tell me what the alternative is, then maybe I'll consider it. But from where I'm sitting and I'm looking at what they can spend, then I don't see that you can have a better alternative than Mitchell Robinson. And it'll cost Dolan a lot of money because they'd be in the second apron, but you won your first championship in 53 years. So Why not run it back?
I'm going to throw a name at you that came up last night. I don't think it was a bad one because it's a guy we talked about at the trade deadline, Yves Missi. What if the Knicks were able to do something where they sold on a Kolek or Dadier, combined him with some second round picks and went to get him as a backup going forward? Is that a? It's reasonable, but do you think is
How much does he make?
$3.5 million on the
Okay,
contract for the next 2 years?
so you
And then
say,
five
I
and a
mean,
half or so next year.
yeah, 5.5.
Three and a half.
After
Oh, the
that.
year after.
Because
Three
he
and a
has 2
half,
years
three and
left
a
on his
half, and
rookie
three and a
contract.
half
So he
next
has
season.
upcoming is 3.5.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you can trade, that's an like something like that, then you can trade. But I mean, Mitchell Robinson is better, right?
Oh yeah, in terms of
But
rebounding and just defense, yeah.
is he, I don't know, 4 or 5 times better financially?
That's my point, dude. You just won a championship. You don't worry about the like. Did we not see what just happened?
No,
Are
but
they really trying to? They're really so. Dolan spent so much stupid money in his past. He's burned.
Well, yeah, we know that.
We
On
know that,
terrible
yeah.
teams, and so now you want to penny pinch for a championship team. It just again, maybe I'm missing something.
No, fundamentally, I agree with you. I just know, like, we just know that they're not going to do it because they keep saying they're not going to do it. So it's like, I don't know if they think somebody like Misi, who we're talking about, can give you 80% of Mitchell Robinson for like 20% or 25% of the money. Maybe they're
because I feel like
that's
how they're thinking about it. That's
Yeah.
how I take them as thinking. I'm
Whether
not saying
it's better or not. Like, look, I'm not saying that any team owner shouldn't spend money. Like, you own the team, spend the money, especially after you win a title. But if they're not going to do it, then they ain't going to listen to anybody else say, hey, you should spend money. They're going to do what they're going to do. And they've been telling us and telling you, especially for however long, that they're just not going to do it. So it's like, okay, maybe they'll get Yves Missi instead, or maybe they'll just find a backup center at some point. But this just appears to be their decision,
Yeah,
whatever the
I mean,
reasons are.
and listen, they've had tricks up their sleeve before, so um, I'm not going to discount the idea that they have something that they're going to fall back on that makes a lot of sense. But reading it from where I'm at right now, not going into the second apron doesn't make sense.
I do get that, and I'm very you said there's a chance, Steph, that Dolan's mind could be changed before Tuesday at 6 p.m., which would be interesting to me. What would change his mind? From what you know, being around the team, do you think this? And specifically, I put this out on Mitchell Robinson because he's going to be the more expensive of the two between him and Shamet. Do you think this team? Would they know the value of what Mitchell Robinson could bring, but do they trust him? And I mean that health wise, stamina wise, ability to stay on the court. Also, we know he broke his hand before the start of the finals. I know a lot of people still don't know how he did it, but that felt somewhat irresponsible or what might be around it. How does this organization feel about Mitchell Robinson from what you hear, people you talk to?
Well, they had a chance. I know he wanted a contract extension before this season, and he didn't get it. So there's clearly a hesitancy to give him a long-term deal.
Right.
That's there. That he that's been there because if you look at Leon Rose's history, if a guy he doesn't allow guys to get into the final year of their contract before extending them. Usually, the one exception that he had was Mitchell Robinson when he signed him to that $60 million deal, and now he allowed Mitchell Robinson to get into the final year of his deal again without extending him. So there's clearly some level of hesitancy there. But again, like who are we talking about is going to replace him? So that's what this is the like I understand like Leon Rose never talks to media and he just talked on the roommates podcast, but he wasn't asked about any of this stuff.
Of course,
Of course not.
Yeah. So this is one of those times like, yeah, I got some questions.
Right.
Steph, you've been having questions for Leon Rose.
But now
we've been having questions for Leon Rose.
Give the man credit. He's built a championship team. He's been
awesome. Absolutely.
So you don't have questions after that. But now when you have a team where everybody is 28, 29, 30, 31 years old, they're in their prime. You got to strike when the iron's hot. Why would you mess around with that?
But when you say the fact that you're even questioning that, Steph, doesn't that make it sound like it's more of a Dolan decision than a Leon Rose? Because we don't know if this is what Leon Rose wants to do. We don't know.
Well, that's what I'd ask him. What's
Yeah.
going on?
I'd love to know the answer. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he
Well,
probably wouldn't answer anyway, but I'd love to ask.
Yeah, it's fair. Fair.
Bonnie, are you hearing about Mitchell Robinson's market right now and potentially what he can get, starting job potentially, like that's something that's been floating around there? Like, are you hearing what his market specifically is right now?
Yeah, I know that I heard that there's an expectation that the Kings would be interested. Obviously, Scott Perry
Oh,
drafted him
Jesus.
in 2018. Is that right? 2018.
Yeah.
So that might have been the best move that Scott Perry did when he was in charge. So I mean, I think
No,
it is.
I can't think of a better move, honestly. Yeah,
So, well, he got Julius Randle.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a solid one. All right, Kings. Sorry, I'm also
And
trying
well,
to.
anyway,
Yeah.
but his market is limited by the idea that he's only a 20-minute per game player, and you're only going to pay so much for a guy who's playing 20 minutes a game.
I don't know if you've done any. You hadn't had time, but have you done any draft scouting homework? Are there any bigs? And I'm going to be very clear, not that because nobody's
No, you're
going
not
to.
going to ask me about
Okay.
round picks.
Yeah.
Nothing for you.
I thought I was hoping one of these years, Steph, you had looked into and found that gem in the draft, a second round pick that you. No, that's not. It's not
I'm
happening.
not. I hate this time of year because it's like they're like, all right, now you're a expert on college basketball and the German league and the Italian league. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I can't pretend to be. So I hate when they make me do that stuff.
Yeah, well, I hate it when you ask me, like, hey, what do you know about the guy that next drafted? I'm like, just stuff I've read in the last week. You know what I mean? Like I watch some stuff and I'll follow some stuff, but I don't. There's no way you can know. Do you think the Knicks will try to take a big here if they keep 47 and 53? Do you think they will try to take a big?
It would make sense. I would assume they're going to try to re-sign a Huck Porty, on a minimum deal, but yeah, they need center. They need a big man. If they're not going to bring back Mitchell Robinson, they absolutely need a big man. The problem is, if you're taking somebody at 55, that's probably not going to be a guy that's going to be ready to play in the NBA.
Here's the thing, though. We just saw Mohamed Diawara at 51, and I don't think any of us thought he'd be ready to play in the NBA.
That's true.
Doesn't happen every year, though.
Yeah, lightning's probably not going to strike twice. Is my point. But I'm just.
I mean, they've done pretty well in the second round. They actually got Jericho Sims in the second round. He became serviceable.
Fair.
They got Deuce in the second round.
Mitch
in the second round. So yeah, they've had some success there. They've had a couple busts. That guy Trevor Keels. Rokas Jokubaitis never showed up. So yeah, it's a hit and miss thing.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Steph, because obviously in talking about the second round, the bench comes up a lot. How much of the bench are you expecting to be back next season?
I expect Jose Alvarado to be back
with the new deal, not just taking the player option, or with.
Well, that's going to see. This is where. So even though Mo Diawara agreed, they still haven't agreed to the terms because they're all waiting to figure out how are we going to stay under second apron. So the terms of the deal is not set yet. The framework of it is set, and so with Alvarado, it's all right. Well, if we want to keep your first year salary low, to stay under the second apron, then we can offer you a more long-term deal. So they're trying to all figure that out. Like it could be 3 for 10 or something like that instead of 1 for 4.5.
Right.
He was on 2 for 9, I think.
Yeah, or 3 for 12. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So I expect him to come back one way or another. I just don't know whether he picks up the contract option or they re-sign him.
Beyond Jose Deuce, who's already under contract,
right? But he's eligible for a contract extension, and I'm sure he wants one really badly. He's been vastly underpaid for a few years now, so he's now eligible for his contract extension for the first time this offseason. That's something the Knicks are going to have to deal with one way or another. Who else is Diawara?
Shamit
is that we talked about. I don't know what.
Sohan.
I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah, didn't
That's
think
what I
so either.
said. I told.
Good.
Uh,
And Kolek and obviously
Kolek's
Dadier
already
are
under
still under
contract, and
contract.
Dadier is
Yeah,
also under contract, so they'll
still
be
under
back,
contract.
barring
Yeah.
trades or something.
And you're expecting Porty back, you said, on
I would
probably
think
some minimum
so. I
deal.
haven't heard anything, but I know he has some fans in high places, so I think he would come back.
And do you know if they have plans to keep maybe McCullers, Trey Jameson, like any of those fringe guys on the roster?
Maybe McCullough. I mean, the two-way contract thing is really difficult to predict. They're just moving around trying to, because they're going to draft second rounders. I don't know how many they're going to end up with, and some of those guys are going to end up being two-way contracts. Some of those guys are going to end up being on the senior roster, just because they can be signed for the lowest possible salary, which is a $1.35 million cap hit as a second-round rookie exception. So a lot of that still has to be played out.
It's going to be very interesting to see what they do. It sounds to me, Steph, like the Knicks. You and I have heard they've been high on some of their young players they've had in there. Kolek, you just mentioned Huck Porty. Dadier too, right? Despite his struggles, they're still high on Dadier. They were high on him when he drafted, right?
They definitely are. I can tell you that with authority.
So he'll get a shot this year, you think, to make the rotation?
I think he'll get a shot. I definitely think he'll get a shot.
And
he had a shot.
That's one way to save money.
This is the thing about him is, people forget this. That dude was in the rotation for the first game of his rookie year. It was like the most shocking.
I remember that.
It was
against
Boston. It was in Boston, and Tibbs actually put him in the rotation out of nowhere.
Yep.
And he got like 2 games, and that was a wrap. And then he started. He started the preseason. Remember this? And I understand
in Abu Dhabi.
In Abu Dhabi, they were kind of showcasing him to trade him, but he was a starter. They're high on him. It might be the kind of vibe where it looks better in practice than when you actually put him on the court. And I understand there's problems with the motor and stuff, but I can tell you that there are people very high on him.
I just want to go back to Hawk Porty for a second here, because he did have some moments in minutes, I should say, in the postseason. Do you think the Knicks are high on him to the point where they're like, okay, we can trust him to be the backup next year for Cat? Are they that high on him? I guess that's.
I haven't had a conversation like that with anybody. Right. I just think they'll bring him back. And I don't think I don't think he's ready to be the main backup center.
I don't either. I said that earlier. There are things I've liked about him, but I just don't. I think we saw that when he had some minutes in the playoffs. That short stint he had in Game 2 against Philly, okay. Everything else beside that was a little shaky. So yeah, I don't know about that.
Can we bring up Paul McFarland's comment real quick, because this goes back to what Barney was saying earlier, where he says he thinks that the Knicks are waiting until Brunson signs his extension to go into the second apron, which it seems like they are. But Bondi, I think you're saying, why wait for anything, because you just won a title and guys are like, these windows are finite.
Mm-hmm.
And now the East it looks like it's going to be better next year because of all the moves that have been made, will be made. Like, gonna have a bunch of good teams going for it in the East. But what do you think of this comment where Paul says he thinks that they're waiting until Brunson signs that extension to go into the second apron, and that would kick in 2028, even if and when he signs it prior?
So you're saying they're not going to go into the second apron until not next season, not the season after, 2028, 29? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that they're doing that, but it seems like if they want to save money now, maybe they're willing to go into the second apron when the team is more expensive, and this would be one of the reasons for that.
I mean,
not that it's a good strategy or
bad strategy, you don't know what the team is going to be. You don't know what the team is going to be.
I mean, if you're going to wait 3 years and be like, all right, now we're going to go in this, you just won the title. Like I don't understand. Like, you can't convince me otherwise. If you don't know what's going to happen. Like, you see all these guys, the league has more parity than ever. The ball, year to year, it's just totally unpredictable. And now you're asking me to project 2 years out and be like, all right, this is when we're going to go in the second apron. To me, it just doesn't make sense. Like, a team like Denver went from like title contenders. Now I don't know what's going to happen with them. And
speaking of owners who want to save money,
Boston Boston, now I don't know what's going to happen with them now that they couldn't get Giannis, and the Jaylen Brown stuff is floating around. So it moves very quickly in the NBA. And, a year and a half ago, we were talking about Boston's going to be this dynasty that's going to run multiple championships. And now look at where they're at.
They're still the favorites to win the East, by the way.
That's true. That's crazy.
I don't know how,
Yeah,
but they are.
I don't think that's accurate.
And this coming at a time, to your point, like Brunson's about to turn 30, Mikhail's about to turn 30, Cat's already in his 30s, OG's going to be closer to that. Josh Hart's already 31. He'll be 32, I think, this season. So the window would be now, to your point.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree with waiting 2 years from now. You don't even know what the team will be 2 years from now. But I understand.
It's not to say that Paul's wrong though, because that could be what they're thinking. It could be, but
but like while I understand why the Knicks might want to avoid the second apron, because I always feel like the decision is going to come at some point, right? And there's some risk with Mitchell Robinson because of his health and all that. That let's say he's hurt and it's harder for you to trade the contract and get off of it, right?
Well, let me say something about that. Do you mind? If the issue is if Dolan said, I don't care, I'll spend whatever money it takes, whatever. Give these guys like short-term balloon contracts, and then you can get off it a lot easier.
I personally.
Do you think Mitchell want to do that?
That's the thing. Do you think him and his agent, would they want that? That's the thing.
I mean, if you make it worth their while enough.
How much of a balloon would it have to be? Like Isaiah Hartenstein's deal with OKC?
Well, he got 3 years. I would make it. You could give him one.
3, but the third is a team option that they might decline to say.
I mean, I would give him one with a team option and make it really, really high.
That's not a crazy strategy to me at all, and it's one I would, because what that would do, Steph, to your point, is it gives you protection if something bad happens that you're not able to trade out of those contracts, while also giving both of those guys, him and Shamet, a lot more money than they would get next season from any place else. Assuming somebody like the Kings or the Lakers don't throw a bag at Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
Shamet, I've heard from some people he could get $8 to $9 million on the market. Somebody might give him that. Look, those guys want a bag because, well, more so Shamet because he's on non-guaranteed contract.
This is their chance.
Right? But Mitch is trying to cash in as a guy who's not been injury really, really healthy. You and I talked on opening night. You were telling us about how Mitchell Robinson and his agent were controlling a lot of whether he would play or not. I know the Knicks are on the clock right now. We'll see what they do here at
well, Mike Brown actually said that. It wasn't just me. I mean, I had heard that, but then Mike Brown
confirmed it. I actually remember that. You said it first with us, and Mike Brown then confirmed it. He did confirm it later. So yes, we did hear that. Do you think this team will be active at all, trade market wise, Steph?
Before free agency?
Yeah, either before or during.
It'd be tough if they're if they're watching their money. I do it's possible because if they're trying to save as much money as possible, now you're talking about moves that can help you upgrade the roster while taking on cheaper contracts. They obviously have a boatload of future second round picks now that they can use in trades to entice other teams to do that. So I do think it's definitely a possibility.
All right, that is a possibility. Do you want to stay on with us for the 47th pick, or do you want to go one?
Hold on one second.
All right, cool. Yeah, I was like, I didn't know if Bondi wants to. We can all react and see if show how much we know about this 47th pick.
I guarantee it's going to be 0 for me.
Before they make the pick,
I think Visar's still on the board, Dex.
Yeah, I'd say he is still on the board.
There were some good players taken
before they make the pick.
Well,
we got to ask Bondi. We got to ask Bondi the question we ask him every offseason, the last couple of offseason. Who wins more games this NFL season, the Giants or the Eagles?
What do you think? Be honest.
You're always throwing these questions back at me. I'm gonna. My money would be on the Eagles, sir. It would be on the Eagles.
I agree with you, and I think it's going to be pretty lopsided. I know people are sleeping on the Eagles.
You said it's going to be pretty lopsided? Is that what you just said?
Yeah. In favor of the Eagles.
You are aware that there are people out here predicting 9. I'm not saying I rock with this. 9 and 10 wins for the New York Giants this year.
Giants? Why? Based on what? I'd love to hear that logic.
Based on fandom is what I'm hearing. Our own Brandon London has told me this.
Not logic, just delusional Giants fandom.
Do you want the over-unders for each team, Bondi?
Yeah. What we got?
Giants are 7.5. And the Eagles,
Too high. I'll go under.
But to be fair, Bondi last year did say 2 wins
or
2 wins.
2.
I said 2.
I said 5, and what did they finish with? They finished with 5.
I think 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah. And the Eagles over under is 10.5. Although over is plus 115.
There you go. Over. But you know what team you should take the under with next season?
You're gonna say the Jets?
No, it's a basketball team.
Knicks?
Take slam the unders on the Atlanta Hawks because my boy Timmy Bontemps is now working for them.
Wait, is that official?
I don't think it's official, but it's been reported.
It's been reported. Our former colleague Ryan Glass-Steagall.
Did you just break the news officially?
No. It's been out there. Like I'm not.
No. I
know.
But
I didn't know. I haven't
texted
texted him about it. I don't know.
Asking.
Our boy Tim Bontemps. I have not texted him about it, so I don't know. He's in discussions. Is the word out there. You know what? I will bet the under on there, and I will text him and tell him that if I'm going to do a bet, we'll take the under on him. All right, the Knicks pick is in. I can't believe how many Knicks fans are actually here for the second round of the draft. I'm sorry, I've been to the draft before as a fan when I was younger, but
we appreciate you, all of you. Also, Dex forgot that part, but we do. But it is surprising after winning a title.
Oh no, I'm talking about people at the Barclays Center. To be clear, Brian, not people here watching this.
Are they even at the Barclays? They're not even at the Barclays Center. They're somewhere else right now.
Where do they do the second round? I actually don't even know.
It's not at the Barclays Center.
All right, here we go.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Tyler Nickel, Vanderbilt.
Bondi, what do you know about Tyler Nickel?
They got another white guy named Tyler. There you go.
He's a shooter. 6'6".
He's a shooter.
6'6". So he's a 3. Yeah, he's a 3.
He's got a cool last name.
Tyler Nickel.
Does he wear number 5? He actually does. He actually does wear number 5.
He does wear number 5. Of course he does.
Good self-awareness.
I love what they're putting up for him. Nothing about his defense. It just says positional size.
You take what you could get at 47.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Paul's on it. Nickel and diming. Clyde's gonna say it if he ever.
Clyde
does anything.
Clyde will be on that if that happens. Steph, there's some Knicks fans that are not happy with this draft. I already see somebody in the chat like WTF is going on. Are fans making too much of this with the second round, or they just need to let the process play out?
Yeah, I guess when it comes to this, like you just let it play out. Like Tyler Nickel could be, putting up double nickels. I don't know.
Stop.
That's fine. But like Mo Diawara was picked in this same spot,
right,
and nobody knew anything about him, and within half a year he was balling out. So, I let these kind of things play out before I judge the draft pick. But the idea that they're not going to the second apron, that part bothers me.
That part is we had a lot of fans last night who were really bothered by that. A lot of fans bothered by that. All right, Steph,
a lot of them didn't have like Steph's rational reasons for doing so.
Listen, the points Steph made I think are good. Steph, I do want to say I think the points you made were fine. I do like, because now you gave me something to think about with them probably doing like a balloon contract for these guys. That to me offers you a little bit of a say. It's not player friendly. I get that. If you want the long-term security, but in the short term, I wouldn't be so mad at it. It wouldn't be bad. Steph, we're not going to keep you around for the 53rd pick and ask you what you think about that. I'm not going to do that to you. But we'll see what happens. We'll probably talk to you next week when free agency starts, and we'll see what the Knicks do there. Thanks, Steph. Appreciate you, man.
Bro. I'll talk to you guys.
All right, there you go. That's Stephen Bondi, our fantastic beat reporter covering the Knicks here for the New York Post. With us here on the stream. Brian, interesting draft. Still don't have a center here.
Knicks fans are already saying that they drafted a problem and a sniper at number 47. I hate that we do this every year because people People just want to post stuff. I don't know if people have actually seen Tyler Nickel play who have seen this. He might never make it. He might be awesome. No one knows. Toby Lawal to Dallas at 48.
I see that.
Some fan called Tyler Nickel a Landry Shamet replacement.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, Jack Cahill, who the Knicks took at 39, is interesting. 26 FIBA Champions League, best young player. You've seen the numbers right there, which are not bad. He's played against good basketball competition. I think that should encourage some people. He is a bigger guard, so 6'5", 185. He's got some shooting ability from downtown. I didn't think it was a bad idea for the Knicks to try to get a guard who could shoot the ball here in this draft. If they could get that, I thought that could be kind of interesting. Again, not banking on this. I have not watched a lot of Jack Cahill. I will watch some tape on him more tonight. Just to let some people know, we will be doing a film breakdown, right, on the players that the Knicks selected and how they potentially could help the Knicks and fit into what they're trying to do, what their skill sets are. So we will have more on this coming your way. We'll be recording that tomorrow. So now I got to do some film studying of some people that I have not watched. Now, to be very clear, there still is a chance.
I've actually seen more Cahill than Tyler Nickel.
This is not not shocking from you.
Yeah. But also, like Nick Boy in the comments, it's basketball Bundesliga. That's why BBL is on the jersey. That's the acronym for the league.
Hey man, listen, and even if it was a BBL sponsorship, you know what I mean? People gotta get the money the way they can. That's all.
Although that would be more likely sponsored in Miami as opposed to New York, but you can see that in New York too if you walk around enough. Also, you mentioned basketball Champions League. So that's not like the top competition in Europe, but it's the top competition sponsored by FIBA. The top competitions in Europe are still Euro League, Euro Cup, and some of the domestic leagues. The basketball Champions League is legit. It's just it's not Euro League and Euro Cup, but it's legit.
No, it's legit. We'll see, and I will be diving more into his game, more into Tyler Nickel. We will have stuff on these players. I don't know what any of these players are going to be.
Are they keeping Tyler Nickel?
Huh?
Are they keeping Tyler Nickel officially?
At least right now. Ultra Knicks here says Jordan Clarkson was the 46th pick, which was a pick I actually liked for the Lakers back in the day. He says, so who knows about Money Nichols? You look, I'm gonna say this right now. We can't be giving people nicknames before they play the NBA game for us. Yeah, they can't get some nicknames. We'll see if the Knicks draft a center at pick 53. Margaret is pick 53, not 55, because of the trade with the Rockets. So no longer 55.
Are we staying for 53?
Yeah, we're picks away. We're here.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I was going to keep Bondi for 53. I wasn't going to do that, but we're here. So we might as well do it. Let's just also look at what the Knicks have done here in this draft. Traded down from 24. They went from 24 to 25, then went from 25 to 30, traded from 30 to 47, traded from 31 to 39, and then they selected Jack Cahill at pick 39. They also acquired pick 47, which you saw in the third trade right there. And they also have pick 53. They also picked up a 2029 Kings second round pick. Look, overall with all this stuff, man, at the end of the day, we've seen the Knicks have good player development recently. We've seen them have some hits in the second round, as I said, as recent as last year. So for people who want to be skeptical, I understand some people just live in skepticism. We'll see. I still think they could get Ugana Oyenso at 53, who's a guy I want. If they get him at 53, that's good. I'm high on him. I don't know. Oyenso might not even be good for them. I think he fits a mold of what you can have to play some backup center or slot in. I think there's a mold of what they can do. We'll see.
Some GMs are just looking for, like, do you have a potentially elite skill in the second round? And with undrafted guys, oftentimes it'll be shooting.
So you got a bigger guard who can shoot the ball decently well. Money Nichols, as Ultra Knicks is calling him, has got some.
He is Tyler Nickel until further notice. You got to earn the nickname.
Yeah, you got to earn money from me. But I'm not saying I dislike the nickname. You got to earn.
Although Wait, he can't wear number 9. Never mind.
What'd you say?
Do the Knicks have a number 9 already on the team? Am I blanking on something?
McCullough's wearing number 9. If I'm not, is McCullough wearing number 9 right now? I think so.
You would appreciate if he wore 9 instead of 5 as a Royce the 5'9" fan. I just don't
Alvarado
know.
wears 5, so he ain't get. I don't know if Alvarado's giving up 5 to him.
He should
Assuming
wear
Alvarado
9.
is back.
He should
Now,
wear 9.
Now, Ultra Nick says that he enters the court and he's in range. Steve Novak 2.0. See, this is what I talk about with the comparisons. You know what I mean? The comparisons.
Oh, Bryce Hopkins got drafted 49 to Denver.
Nice. Dylan Mitchell still on the board, right?
No, he got drafted by Boston earlier at 40.
I didn't see that. Okay.
40. It was when we had Bondi. So
I missed
3
that.
When was the last time St. John's had 3 in a draft?
Their whole front court is gonna get drafted. Or got drafted. Their entire front court got drafted. Bryce Hopkins, Dylan Mitchell, and Zubi Ejiofor.
Look at Rick Pitino, man.
What a time for basketball in New York with the Liberty, the Johnnies. And here we go. Rost in the city. What's up, my guy? He says, we are good. Let Leon live. Man trading picks like Wall Street. Look, I like Bondi said it too when I asked him here. I'm not as upset at the Knicks not going to second apron as maybe Bondi is, although I don't disagree with his point about if you want to do the balloon contracts. I think it's a fair strategy because my concern is I didn't want to make it as simple as like, yo, you could just trade out the second apron because, yes, the penalties are more punitive in year 2 than they are in year 1. Bondi's absolutely right about that. But it's just like, what if you get yourself in a situation where you cannot trade out of it? That's where those balloon contracts would actually help you. But, yeah. At some point, though, you're all going to have to reset all this. I kind of am for doing it now. What do you guys think of the picks? Do you like Tyler Nickel? Do you like the young man Jack Cale?
We'll have
what do you
something
guys
to talk about in summer league. We don't. And the other thing with Cale that we don't know is like, is he actually coming over?
He might not,
because this could be a draft and stash.
He might not.
I think he's only 20 right now. He won best young player in Champions League. So
you said you've watched more of Cale than you have Tyler Nickel.
Now I'm not going to tell you I've watched him a ton.
No, but I'm going to be watching some film on both guys tonight in preparation of
just my random FIBA watching, as you know that I do, or FIBA too, also to be clear. But international in Europe and things like that. Yeah, although not as much Champions League as Euro League or Euro Cup. But yes, to answer yes, I've seen a little bit more of him.
So you see the shooting percentage there, guys. And Tyler Nickel people talked about size. He is 6'8", 217, right? So he's got some height, not a lot of weight on him at 6'8", but 13.5 points, 44% from the field, shot 40% from 3. So 110 made 3-pointers. That was the second most in the SEC, which is the best conference in the country when it comes to basketball, college basketball right now. So the man can shoot. You can always use some shooting. And like Brian, you said here too, sometimes you just want to get an elite skill. Can you get somebody with an elite skill here? Again, I don't know. I'm glad they drafted a shooter. I'm with Margaret on this too. I think the Knicks actually may do something here that might be interesting. They might have checked a couple boxes. They might have got themselves a guard. Again, for insurance, you don't know what other moves they're going to make. Brian and I have talked about that. Could you trade a Kolek? Could you trade a Dadier to go get a backup center like Yves Misi? So now you get a guard here like Cahill. You get another shooter in Tyler Nickel. You don't know what the plans are for what the Knicks are going to do. You still got to wait and see. So
Jay Billis compared Tyler Nickel to just take a guess. Just take a guess.
So okay, so he did the lazy thing that we all do. He picked some other 6'8" white dude. Ryan Anderson.
Shorter. Still in the league. Actually,
still in the league?
The Knicks played him in the playoffs.
He's a forward?
3. He's a 3. Cleveland.
Max Strus.
The other one,
Oh,
Sam Merrill,
Sam Merrill.
compared to the Sam Merrill. He says solid defender, works his tail off defensively, which that doesn't always translate. Because the NBA is a lot different than college, even the SEC.
True. Great point.
So,
But let's say he's Sam Merrill light.
it's great for a second round
Great for
pick at
finding 47.
Yeah. Look at the guests. Logan Paul, Ian Coleman. Ultra Nick says Luke Kennard, Paul McFarland. Yeah. Luke Kennard, by the way, who's like, what was he? A top 10 pick in his draft?
Was.
Jesus. Although somebody pretty good is going to pick him up this year. Maybe. That checks a box. So we're almost at 53 now. The Raptors are at 50. I'm going to have to refresh myself on who traded what at the end of this. Jaden Bradley goes to Toronto. I thought
People say, people just mentioned all the white guys in the league in the last 20 years they could shoot.
To be fair, I said that.
No.
Comparison.
I understand. This is what we do with comps, man. I'm not judging anybody because we all do this. It's all stereotypes. Look, I'm willing to see what the process is here.
Can I give you an anecdote on Jack Cahill?
Go ahead.
He was committed to Gonzaga before and decided to stay in Europe.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Gonzaga, who has had some success with recruiting guys internationally.
They have.
Including Domantas Sabonis, as a matter of fact, among others. He at Alba Berlin last year, we talked about some of his numbers. I don't know. He's talented, clearly. The passing ability is solid. He can score. Very inefficient. Very inefficient. But
you see the 40%, 34% from downtown.
Yeah. Yeah, he was very inefficient. He was decent in Mega Basket. Mega Basket is actually where Nikola Jokic and Nikola Jovic both played in Serbia before coming to the NBA, along with trying to remember who else. Maybe Bogdanovic as well. But Mega Basket's like a good Serbian program, and they wear pink uniforms, which is cool. But I don't know if second rounders, you just don't know. First rounders, you just don't know.
He might not.
We keep saying, "Oh, this top four is going to be amazing," and it happened. It seems to be the case from last year. All top four guys are going to be like, potentially all stars. Is that going to happen again? Because we keep saying that. It's like, I don't know. Caleb Wilson might be ass. Like maybe he's just athletic and nothing else. I don't know. He could be a perennial all-star. He could be Jonathan Bender. I don't know.
Nope. All this stuff I say it's about every draft. This is why I don't get too high. I don't get too low. Nobody knows, and if people tell you they know, they are lying. Nobody knows. Drafts are crapshoots.
Always a Nick, by the way.
Huh?
Once a Nick, always a Nick.
And so, yeah, and sometimes Jonathan Bender, and sometimes it's about guys being drafted to the right or wrong places. It's about development. There's so many factors into it. Like you just can't know immediately. Kev Chada, our guy, is in here. He said late night, buzzed. Oh, sounds like you're having a good night, Kevin. What the Knicks do tonight? Well, Kev, you didn't show up for the draft. You were out here having fun.
Honestly, you didn't miss much.
You didn't miss much, though, man. Let's get Kev updated a little bit here, though. Kev, we are here to help you out and catch you up on
Kev. I can tell you, they don't have a center yet.
They do not have a center yet, but they did make a trade. They did trade with the Rockets, 31st and 55th overall pick, and they got the 39th pick, 53rd overall pick, and the 2029 Kings second round pick there, Kev. So with that 39th overall pick, what they did was they then drafted Jack Cahill, guard out of Germany, 6'5", 185 pounds, has some interesting stats, not very efficient. We'll see how the shooting comes along for him there. And then at pick 47, they took a forward out of Vanderbilt who's a very good shooter in Tyler Nickel, 6'8" forward, 217 pounds there. And now we're waiting to see what the Knicks actually do at pick number 53. So
we got a super chat about Nickel also.
Super chat about Nickel. Sorry, and thank you guys. Shout out to Brendan Cooney hitting us with the super chat. We've had a lot of you guys here in the comments. He says, "Oh, I'm a Vandy grad, and I've been saying I wanted Tyler Nichols since like 6 months ago. He is a great competitive motor and is a sniper, perfect fit for this team." Brendan, first of all, appreciate the super chat. Thank you, man. I will be honest, my college basketball watching has become more limited over the years. I watch more ACC basketball than anything because my school, Pitt, is in the ACC. I don't have much time to watch other conferences, so I appreciate that. You say you like the motor and he's a sniper. Jay Billis said that he can defend well. What did you think about his defense? Because we see the shooting numbers there. If you can in the chat, let us know what you thought about his defense. Obviously, watching Vandy basketball, we'd appreciate that. And do you think he's a guy that could crack the rotation and get minutes? Because it sounds like you value the shooting, you like the motor, and you've been on him. So if you're a Vandy grad and a Knicks fan, that's pretty dope for you to see that. That would be good. And if the Knicks hit on a guy like that can make the rotation, listen, I will go back and say this. No matter what the Knicks do, and we'll have more time to talk. We'll have a free agency show on Tuesday and all that. If they get another hit in the second round like they did last year with Diawara, it's a win. You're not going to hit on all three of these picks. It's not going to happen. It's fine.
KO's not going to be a drafting stash, he says, apparently. Just a quote from a little bit ago.
Who said that? Did he quote it or somebody else?
Yeah, he's doing some media
he was I forgot he was there to draft because he was talking to Lisa Salters.
And there was talk about whether or not he was actually going to stay in this draft, and he did end up doing that because he didn't have to. He could have just kicked the can down the road for the next year. But KO reaffirmed his commitment to join the team this offseason. So join the team this offseason. I don't know if that's the same thing because you can play Summer League and then decide, hey, I'm actually going to go back to Europe for a year. Like you can do that. There's been instances where a European guy or somebody from overseas has played in Summer League, and then the team tells them, hey, you should go back for another year.
Yeah,
so,
you don't really have a shot. You don't really have a shot to make it. So right. That's true. That's a great point.
They'll keep the rights. They'll keep the rights.
I mean, that's a great point. You could see him play in Summer League, and then they say, hey, you don't really got a shot to make the team this year. We think we don't even want you in Westchester. The development is there too. Tony HVAC here says, I trust what Leon is doing. He got us 3 picks for 29 when we had none. I think this is what's going to come down for a lot of Knicks fans here. Either you trust Leon, what he's doing. Maybe you don't love Dolan's influence in it and what he's doing, as we talked about with Steph, which I do understand. The second apron, I personally would rather get ahead of it and give myself more flexibility for more years. That's just the way I think. I know some people are I'm not terribly bothered, but I kind of assume going into this offseason, if the Knicks, things broke right for them, they might bring one of Mitchell Robinson or Landry Shamet back, with Landry Shamet being much more the likely option to bring back. So I don't know. For me, maybe in my mind, I kind of was like, okay, fine. I kind of expected this already. So the Clippers, their pick is in at 52. Knicks are coming up next. We'll stay with you with that, and then we're going to wrap here. But I definitely want to thank a lot of people for tuning in, hitting likes, bringing in great comments, good questions. We agree with that. Kev Shada says the Knicks are overthinking the draft. I don't think so. Need a center or Saunders to replace Shamet. Well, I mean, they just got a shooter, if you want to say that's the Shamet replacement, in nickel, and they still have a pick to get a center. So, and the guy I would like at center, on Yenso, is still available.
Visar is not. He just went to the Clippers at 52 overall.
Well, there you go. So, I kind of like Yenso over Visar. I think Bryan does too. So, Clippers are trading that pick to the Hawks.
Of course.
Apparently.
Of course. The percentage of guys who are playable in the 50s is not high. Like Mo Diawara, we will reiterate, as a rarity. If you look at some of these drafts, like even in 2021, 5 years ago, Luka Garza's been playable in his career, although He's
Mhm.
been unplayable in his career also. Um, Sandro Mamukelashvili, who's actually a free agent this year, who's interesting. He's become pretty good. Aaron Wiggins in that class also.
It's another good one.
Jericho Sims, like that's 4 guys out of the 10 in that range, and that's like high in terms of playable players typically selected in that range. That's like the high end outcome. So
Look, you can find talent. Look, there are finds everywhere. It's just getting the right person in your system. And with the way the Knicks have developed guys, whether it is um, Tyler Nickel or others, if they have the personality that fits into what the Knicks want, it fits into Mike Brown's system. We'll see. We'll see. Like you hope that look, 3 picks. You hope they hit on one of them. They hit on one of them, it's a win. Um, thank
legitimately, yes. And by the way, this would have been the case if the picks just stayed the same at 24 and
same. I would have said the
31.
same thing.
Same thing.
It does the
Like you
word
have to hit one of them,
hit one
and
of them.
2 would be great.
Yeah,
It goes for every team.
they hit last year at 51. Okay. So it's like I don't get caught up in like where it exactly is. It's just do good scouting, have good development, and the rest will take care of itself. Malin says you guys are awesome and personal as well. Thank you. We appreciate it. You guys are awesome too. There's a lot of good conversation tonight, a lot of great comments. And that's we appreciate that. It makes the show a lot more fun. Um I some Knicks fans, I feel like y'all just want to crash out. Dolan may be the worst draft in Knicks history. Worst draft in Knicks history? Like, if you think this is the worst draft in Knicks history, you haven't been watching Knicks basketball long enough. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. If you think
Michael
this is the
Sweetney
worst,
happened.
if you think this is the worst draft in Knicks history, and again, you cannot judge drafts right after they happen or during them. You can't, because a lot of y'all last year, and if some of you aren't here, you're lying. We're saying, Muhammad Diawara, I don't know who he is. What's he going to do? He's going to be a drafting stash. And I'm not really clowning anybody for that. You just don't know. So
Yeah,
don't
like
sit here and say that you know what the draft. You don't know.
yeah, we can't say that for a franchise who's drafted Michael Sweetney and Kevin Knox and
Frank
Frank
Ntilikina.
Ntilikina and Frederick Weiss,
Come on, man.
which is like the big one. That's probably the worst of the group. Also unfair to him maybe because of the Curry thing, but Jordan Hill as well, because there were some other really good players who came right after.
I
'Cause that
like
was a
Jordan
stacked draft
Hill.
class.
Yeah, but we don't have to go. We don't have to go back.
So
I'm on to that. The pick is coming in for the Knicks. Knicks just copped a nickel bag, kind of like that. Don't mind that if somebody's going to
you
use that
better
as a
hope
nickel.
he's more valuable than a nickel bag.
Yeah. Brandon Cooney, a guy from Vandy, said, love Nichols' defense. He's a big wing, always get great effort on that side of the ball. Very physical, moves his feet well. As we watch the selection coming for the Knicks at 53.
Also got to see if they keep it. Onyensu.
Onyensu. There we go. Got my guy who I wanted here.
Who's at the draft.
Who's here at the draft. Okay. Ugado Onyensu is a Knick. I liked it. Listen, I like the pick. I don't know how
Saying we
happen.
got him about a 53rd overall pick is kind of crazy, but also profile wise, like yes,
it's a center profile wise that I think has a chance to develop into what the Knicks might want, whether it's now or in the future. I have no idea if he's going to be good, but like I like the pick for now. I hope that the skills that I see in him, I just see his skills being NBA translatable. He does have some stuff to work on. I do think he can still get a little stronger. He was averaging nearly 3 blocks a game, as Paul McFarland here just mentioned, second in the country in blocks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't. The Knicks added a guard, a shooting forward, okay,
a point guard, a wing, and a center.
Okay. And second round, I don't know who's going to be a 2-way contract, who's going to be the second round minimum contract. I don't know how that's going to be.
I think the last 2 guys could be 2-way
but
contracts.
Onyenso is probably the person who I am going to be intrigued when we do our film breakdown on these players to really talk about, because I do like his skill set and what he could do. Now, again, some of this is familiarity. Like I said, we had our guy here from Vandy who was able to put us on game about Nickel, and we appreciate that. And look, I watch a lot of ACC basketball, so I was a little bit more familiar with him. And it's fine. Kev Chada here says you can complain in real time. I mean, yeah, you can always complain. You can always be mad, but you don't know is my point. You can't evaluate the draft properly in real time. None of us can.
But I respect the point. He's like, if I can't complain now and I'm end up being right, then what the fuck? I could have been right in my complaints.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. When you're wrong, you will say nothing.
Correct.
That's the problem.
That's how you got to play the game.
You can't come, because when you're right, you're going to come back and be like, Dex, see, I told you. And then if you're wrong, you're not going to say anything. And so
you don't find that and retweet it later. You only retweet when you're right.
Yeah, nah. So nah, boo.
But I understand.
Kev, I understand what Kev is saying. I get him.
He's like, I want to complain because
you want to complain.
As well, then I'm right.
I'm just saying, Kev. I'm not saying you. You might actually come back and tell me that you were wrong. You seem like the kind of person that's been rocking with us and would do that, right? You would do that. We got a super chat in here. Jerron here says, did Atlanta jump ahead of the Knicks to get Vsar because they thought the Knicks would take him? No, the Clippers traded him to Atlanta.
But the point could still remain.
True.
Atlanta did that trade to do, but I don't know.
Maybe
nobody knows. Not Bondi either. Nobody knows. Right.
And
now.
Honestly, Vsar, again, I said before, I wouldn't have been mad if the Knicks took him. I kind of like who they got as a center option better, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. I don't know, because I need to see how this stuff plays out. I could be wrong. I have no idea. See, Kev Chada, this is why I appreciate you, man. He's like, problem is, I'm never wrong. That's, you know why I respect that? Because that's the answer I would have said, sir. That's the answer I would have said. Salute to you, man. I appreciate that. That's the right answer there. Ultra Nick says Oyenso, 7 foot, 245 pounds. He can come in and give you minutes. His defense translates to the NBA. I agree. We'll see about the minutes. I do think his defense can translate to the NBA. I really do. I think that's why. I think out of all the bigs I saw that could come in this second round range, he had the most NBA translatable skill that I thought was ready. That's why I liked him. I was like, if you're looking to find replacements and win on the margins, you need people who have skills that are immediately translatable. The Knicks are also maybe hoping that happens with Nickel. His shooting is immediately translatable, and the defense that we heard about as well too.
And then KO, it would be his creation and playmaking. The shot selection needs work. I can tell you that, but there are translatable skills there. Leger Jones went to Golden State at 54. I think I'm good on the draft. Wait, Onyensu got no. Budstar, are you kidding? Or are you being serious? You might be trolling or not.
No, that is true. They traded Onyensu. Great. All that excitement for nothing. Great.
To the Pistons, who just, by the way, traded Isaiah Stewart and probably want to develop another backup center. Although I think Paul Reed is still under contract over there.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the Knicks.
Don't have fit. Someone said you have 55. They traded that 50.
I traded 55
to Houston.
The Knicks traded Onyensu to the Pistons for cash.
Yo, they're operating like they broke.
What?
Well, Dolan is.
I just. Well, if you're going to get a pick, I didn't. I don't understand. This is the first thing I'm confused. I don't understand this. If you're not bringing back Mitch and you are going to you're trying to get another big, why would you then have traded him just for cash? Maybe there's more details.
Who reported that, by the way?
Shams reported.
Okay, I'm trying to find it for some reason. Hey, doing a deal with the Pistons, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people are like.
By the way, the Rockets are now trading the 55th pick that the Knicks had for cash to the Clippers. Shams also says a Wildcat is on the way, which who does Kentucky have available right now? Assuming it's even Kentucky, because
they're actually sorry, Mike Scotto, our boy, was the first.
Our boy, I was texting with him today, actually. Shout out to Scotto.
That is, I don't understand that.
Now, unfortunately, we have to wait and see if they trade back into the second round with any of these picks or cash. I don't know. Ultranix says Onyensu traded for cash. Says they have a verbal agreement with Mitch. That's what you think? I don't know.
I haven't seen that.
You guys think this means Mitchell Robinson stays?
I haven't seen that reported anywhere.
In the comment section, they're saying that I'm not. I don't think trading a 53rd overall pick means Mitchell Robinson's all of a sudden staying for a team that continues to say they're not going into the second apron. They're not going into the second apron. And paying Mitchell Robinson will put your ass right in the second apron.
Oh man, I like.
I could be wrong, but
I like Oyensu, and I don't. This one I don't understand. I don't understand.
They have 2 centers in their pipeline already. They'll probably just keep them both and see what's gonna happen.
Do you trust them?
For somebody. I mean, it's not my books to manage. I don't know if it's more about trust than just trying to get the most out of the least.
Listen, I also want to say this. I have to be quick. I have to stay true to what I'm saying. And Steph talked about this a little bit too. Dolan could change his mind before Tuesday. The Knicks could still go. The Knicks could still go over the second apron.
He ain't changing his mind. If this hasn't shown me that, unless
I agree, actions over words. Actions over words.
Right. Unless you start to see noise going directly against everything we've heard about Mitchell Robinson and potentially resigning. So
what if they give him a balloon contract? Like Bondi talked about.
Then that goes against everything that Dolan has told us and everybody else has told us. They keep saying they're going to save the money and not go into the second apron. Like they've said it. Begley's reported. Like Dolan said this word for word, and they're operating like a team who's going to want to patchwork the bench and not go into the second apron. And also, by the way, like if you're going to bring back Jose, like I don't know how much Jose Alvarado is going to make, but like Bondi threw out 3 for 12. I'm like, it could be more than that. Could be more than that. Could be.
Well,
wow, Nick Martinelli went. He's actually pretty nice.
I saw that. East Blue Drew says, "Dex, you hurt. We can see your face." I wanted the young man as big. I wanted to see it. I just wanted to see. I thought it was a good pick. I liked it. He was, so I get it for some of you guys. We all do this with the draft. We have people that we look at. Oh, it's a Raider. I think they'll be a good fit here. Granted, none of us know how it's all going to work out. I guess the thing for me about trading 53 is what I'm starting to see from some other people here in the comments is, yeah, but how would it have affected them financially? Really, they got some cash out of it.
Two-way player.
Yeah, right. He was a two-way player. Who gives a damn?
Oh, well, I mean, look, when you're pinching pennies, you're pinching pennies.
That's a little bit too much.
I don't disagree, but this appears to be the strategy right now.
I have said,
to be fair, we have to this is our job. We have to do a show in real time or whatever, but you and I both know things could drastically change.
Absolutely.
And then all of this is just futile in a couple days.
I think what I try to do in the moment is I did react. I try not to overreact. But I just feel like,
thank you, Budster.
No, we know you weren't trolling, Budster.
No, I didn't know. I had to ask because
yeah. No, we do.
I
just don't understand the other stuff. I've understood. I didn't understand trading 53.
And if he's good, it'd be like, damn, you gave the Pistons another center.
Yeah,
because of Jalen Duren.
It's like unless you're telling me there's something more to that Pistons trade, like you got another second round pick or something in next year's draft, then I might be like, okay, I kind of could see that.
Shams ain't tell us that.
Well, and Kev Chada, I'm going to say this to you because this was a point I made last night. It said Dolan only wants to be competitive now because he knows Emmett should be filled no matter what. But that's always been the problem with the Knicks, guys.
Knicks were doing good in attendance when they were bad.
And I've said this
when we were talking about Kadeem Allen versus Alonzo Trier, that shit was still sold out.
I've talked about this so many times in my career and was always one of my concerns with how the Knicks were run. Could the Knicks actually be good if ownership doesn't have to care about filling the seats because the seats are always filled because people are always going to show up, right?
Paul's comment, please.
And so I do understand that, right? Like I do understand that.
Go to Paul.
Paul here says it's Rose's idea.
I don't even know if this is true.
I
Because
don't think that's true.
I don't either, because like owners tend to, especially ones who love being involved, they tend to issue the mandate and the GM is to follow it. This is still funny.
No, it's hilarious.
I don't know if it's factual. It's still very funny.
The intelligence part, I'm gonna just y'all can do with that what you want. So, but I do want to go back to Kev's point, because Kev isn't wrong, and I do think that the only way that could change is because the tough thing about being a Knicks fan, and I think also the ownership around the Knicks, because the building is always full, because people want to be at MSG, because they want to be seen, there's really no incentive, because this is a broader topic about there's no incentive in American sports because you don't really get hurt for being losers as in a way that you should. But there's no incentive for ownership to really invest in a certain way when the building is always full. Is the point I'm making.
We
right?
just had correct. But this is the thing. Fans speak with their wallets, but ain't nobody not going to Knicks games this season.
The
Fresh off
problem,
championship.
but I also want to be very clear about that when we say that too. And this is very exclusive to the Knicks. It's very different than baseball with like the Yankees or the Mets or something like this. The problem for the Knicks is, and you saw this through the playoffs, being here in New York, the common fan, and what I mean is the average middle class fan, and even people who don't have as much money as even in the middle class,
the working
class that can't even afford the tickets to get to Knicks games, right? They're not the ones even showing up, but they're the ones that still have their MSG subscriptions and all this stuff that's going on. So
buying
they do
merch.
They're buying merch. They're still supporting the team in other ways. So I don't want to make it just as the people in the building. We're talking about overall as Knicks fans, right? You don't want to alienate those people. This is where I understand some of where people are coming from. I think there's a balance in serving the fans and also putting the best product on the court, which there are restrictions in a salary cap sport. This is not a sport without a salary cap. So there's a balance. I can't be all in one way. I understand it. There's a business side of it too. But at the same time, right? The problem in New York is you got enough people with bread that are going to pay these prices for these tickets that are not your middle class and working class folks that have been really supporting this team for years, that are the backbone of the team. I've spoken on this show before about how this sport is the sport of immigrants, right? I just wrote a piece about, my love for the Knicks growing up and my parents who were immigrants and all that, right? This is the thing. So the point that Kev brings up is not to, and it's not exclusive to just Dolan, but the Knicks and Lakers really have this issue, I would say, with their fans, because they have two arenas where people always show up, whether the team is good or bad, and people want to be seen there. But the problem is ownership knows they're always going to get that money. So it makes me always question, do they always have the incentive to do right by the fans? Correct. And by the fans, I mean
the working class fan.
Yes.
Not the fans who you're seeing front row.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes. That's what I mean by that. And so I do think there's something to that. It's having a discussion about this with nuance that I'm trying to have in a socioeconomic sense. But yeah, I do think that stuff matters. And I do. Yeah. And to take all that, that's why I don't understand trading the 53rd pick.
Yeah. I mean, this goes into a larger conversation about just venues in general and how expensive everything has gotten.
Yeah.
Something really funny happened as you were making that great speech, of which I endorse 100%. The 56th overall pick happened in the NBA draft.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dude named, I'm gonna attempt to do this because this is one of the international guys I'm actually
you're about to mess this up.
Not as familiar with.
You're about to mess this up.
Vysvolod Ischenko.
Sounds right.
He's Russian.
That's how your Russian sounded pretty good.
I watch a lot of combat sports. He did not have any highlights.
Mm.
His Wikipedia is one sentence.
I'm glad we don't have to do a film study on him.
Vishvaladyshchenko is a Russian professional basketball player for the Los Angeles Lakers of the National Basketball Association. That's it. That's all it says. It's amazing. I hope he's nasty. I hope he's awesome.
That'd be great. That'd be great. I got to show people the trade details of. I still don't understand this trade, people. Why? Again, I don't know what Ugana Onyenso is going to be. I have no idea whatsoever. But cash
It's the principle.
Listen, I'm gonna put it like this: whenever you trade for just cash considerations, that feels like broke. And the Knicks ain't broke, but it feels like broke. And I thought they could use a big. Again, maybe they feel maybe they're on Trey Jemison and Porty, as Bondy mentioned. Maybe that's East Blue Drews guy. I don't know. So we will see.
This draft summary is hilarious.
It is.
By the way, though, acquired 6 second-round picks,
which is notable. A shout out to our wonderful editor Wesley Splain, who's made all these wonderful graphics for us for these live shows the last couple of nights, and able to show you guys what the Knicks did, which is only select 2 players, which is fine. Well, they technically selected 3 and they traded 1, but this is all the Knicks did. So the Knicks acquired 6 second-round picks. Now, are those things are going to be attached to other players that they try to use to get for some veterans to add to their bench? Maybe. I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting what the Knicks do with the second-round picks. This is just the start of the offseason. It's not over. But the Knicks were active. Maybe not active in the way people wanted, but they sure were active here. I'm not really mad at anything, except for the last trade, because I just don't understand that. I don't understand it. So, yeah. Knicks boy 11 LGK says, I think Dolan should have raised hot dog prices by $1. Use that money to pay 53. Yo, man. I just don't. Look, here's what I want to say. And we can wrap.
What was that comment?
I put that up by accident. Well, let's bring it back. What do we have here? This is from Shining Hunters Hacker Group. Took millions of fans' info. MSG is to pay big in lawsuit. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure of aware of that lawsuit. Listen.
By the way, for people who want to know cash considerations, apparently the league limit this year that teams can send and receive is $7.964 million. So almost $8 million. Teams are not sending each other $8 million. It's usually like
ain't nobody sending nobody $8 million for the 53rd pick. I'll tell you that.
It's usually like $100K, $250. At this point, at other instances, yeah, it could be like early in the second round. You could buy a second round pick for like a couple million or something. I doubt that happened at 53. But
oh yeah, I highly doubt that. What I was gonna say to the fans and who've been rocking with us is
we have more people today than yesterday. This is second round.
I've been impressed. I've been impressed with y'all. The Knicks are going to have a chance to repeat. They're going to be a really good team. They are a really well-run team. They have been well-run for quite some time. Leon Rose has done an amazing job. We finally heard from him on the Roommate Show today. Brock Eiler has done a great job managing the cap. Some of you will say the Knicks have done this in spite of the ownership, and I wouldn't disagree with you.
Should be noted that they got a lot of second-round picks.
They got 6 second-round picks today.
If they end up using 4 or 5 of these second-round picks to get a rotation piece, because we've seen role players go for just mad second-round picks in recent years, including Jay Crowder. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you need a bunch of second-round picks to make some of these deals. Like, if we've talked about Misi, and it's like, are you going to send half of those 6 second-round picks, maybe a 4th one, and one of your young guys to match salary, or 2 of them for BC? Does that sound like an overpay? Maybe, but like, this is maybe one of the avenues that they're considering in terms of adding to their bench.
Yeah, this is the beginning of the offseason. I think what comes down is, do you trust this front office or do you not? I think that's what happens a lot. I'm going to bring this back up one last time because Keep Dreaming came in here and joined late, and he asked what was going on. So this is your draft summary.
Great question.
Of what the Knicks.
A lot.
A lot has happened since yesterday. This is what the Knicks did. They made a lot of moves, moving down. Selected Jack Cahill at pick 39, Tyler Nickel out of Vanderbilt at pick 47. They did select Ugano Yensu, and your boy actually got excited for 2 minutes. And then they traded Onyenso to Detroit for cash. But within all that, the Knicks acquired 6 second-round picks. So that's what's happened. This is the beginning of the offseason, people. This is not the end. This is the beginning of the offseason. And I understand some people's frustration. I even understand this point. Manine Ellen says here, last Knicks game in the finals garnered $400 million to 20,000 tickets at $20,000 a ticket, that on average, plus concessions, parking, merchandise sales, etc. Your point is the Knicks are making money. Yes. Knicks have always been making money.
Oh, right. I was going to say
MSG's been printing money. I understand the point you're making here. Keep dreaming. We did not lose Mitch. That is not official. There's no word on that yet.
Although they may.
They may. They've been operating as though Mitchell Robinson will not be back.
That other teams seem to be making it hard because of the reports coming out about the interest he's garnering around the league, despite his limitations, because he's elite at one very important thing. Yeah.
So it'll be
good in some other areas too.
It'll be very interesting. They haven't lost him, but listen, we've gone 2 hours on a second round NBA draft show, which I did not think I was going to do, but it was fun. Shout out to Stephan Bondi, our guy. Does a great job covering the Knicks for the New York Post. I'm sure we will talk to Steph next week at the start of free agency, which is Tuesday at 6 p.m. We will do some stuff around that. That's going to be a busy night for me because I also have the Commissioner's Cup championship game for the WNBA that night with the Liberty. So it's going to be a very busy night. Probably do something before I head out there to the Barclays Center. We'll see. Thank you to everybody for joining us. Our wonderful staff back at the studio in Midtown Manhattan. Our editor, Wesley Splain, doing a good job. Producer, Tommy Hogan. No, Paul Carbonaro. The Knicks were not active for nothing. You still do not know. Brian just made the point about the 6 second-round picks, and there's still a lot they could do with them. This, again, guys, you can't react to just the draft. It's the beginning of the offseason. There's still moves that could be made. Thank you, though, for everybody who joined, commented, super chats. We appreciate you. So thank you for sending in everything. Margaret, I do agree with you. They should have kept the 53rd pick. I think we both wanted the center. I agree with you, Margaret. And Margaret, thank you for rocking with us for
especially
for
that one.
Hours.
All the guys they drafted.
Yeah, because Margaret was on it from the top. She was like, "Yo, they got to draft the center. Got to draft it." I'm like, "Yo, I'm with you." And
they got the right one.
And then he got the one that I liked. I got disappointed.
By the way,
shout out to everybody. Margaret, Starlight Roller. Appreciate you for the 2 hours for rocking with us.
D Grant 63 says, I know the Lakers made Mitch an offer, which I don't. There's interest reportedly.
There's interest. We've said that.
But he also says, I know they're trying to re-sign LeBron. And if you saw Austin Reeves' contract today, don't know how much money they have left for LeBron. Now, there are 2 teams
that might be interested in bringing LeBron back. I will say that
he's played on previously.
Keep your eye on that.
Keep your eye on those 2.
Yeah.
And Bill Simmons keeps saying that he thinks he's going to the Warriors, which I don't know.
Look, do I like that the Knicks didn't get a big today? No. Or in the draft? No. But I don't know. They still might get one another way. There's other ways they could get a good big. Yves Missi is a name we mentioned.
I think adding 6 second-round picks is good, even if they didn't get a center tonight. Like
I think
that's something you can use at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jack Cahill is going to be like really that good. I don't know if Tyler Nickel is going to be awesome. I don't know, but adding 6 second-round picks just in practice, like that's a good thing you could have.
Maybe one of the 2 of them end up being good, but I don't know. We will see. Either way, look, shout out to everybody, man. You guys were awesome in the chat, so thank you for being dope. Thank you for rocking with us.
Damn, Paul.
A lot of yo, man. Yo, some of the
That's a children's author, sir.
Oh
He
man,
ain't going nowhere anytime soon.
some of the Knicks fans where
Maybe one day, but
I'm like, yo,
not now.
y'all just got to be happier, man. Y'all got to be happier. Kev Chada said Rose got to be drinking all night, dealing with Dolan. Like Kev Chada, maybe Leon Rose is as buzzed as you were tonight. Maybe he was. I don't know. Hey, sometimes people got to drink to deal with things. So, not saying that you should do that, be irresponsible. I'm not saying that.
Thank you.
I'm just saying that people do this sometimes. That's all I'm saying. The same people do this sometimes.
Should we tease our film breakdown that we're gonna
Yes,
try
we
to
will.
do?
We will record this tomorrow. We were going to record a film breakdown where we will talk about who the Knicks picked in this draft in Tyler Nickel and Jack Cahill.
One more
We
thing
will
I
look
want to
at
throw
their
in.
games. We will look at how they could possibly impact the rotation. Could they make the rotation? How they could help the Knicks? And then also might even talk a little bit about, maybe we could add this too. We'll see if we talk about it some too, about maybe what the Knicks can do with these 6 second round picks they acquired. What are some targets they can get to upgrade this roster? You know how we do. We will still have a lot of content coming for you guys as the offseason is now starting, through the start of free agency, through summer league. We'll do it. Kev, you asked for another live. The next live we do likely will be next Tuesday evening for the start of
Around
free
free
agency.
agency, yeah.
Kev says he needs to vent more.
I want to
Not-
throw in there.
Yes.
Appreciate that you want to vent with us. I want to throw out there, because we're about to get off. Everyone in the chat, start paying attention to the reports of undrafted guys landing on teams. You're going to start
Yep.
seeing reports about undrafted guys getting summer league invites, exhibit 10s, two-way contracts. Like, you're going to start seeing that. The Knicks will probably have a couple guys circulate. As far as our film breakdown, we'll do the draft picks. But if they automatically sign somebody to a two-way
that we think is interesting to look
yeah,
at, we will look at them too.
that may be something worth talking.
Yep.
Not exhibit 10s, because exhibit 10s, a lot of times don't.
But if
make
there's a
it.
two-way
Sometimes
guy,
they could, but two ways is like a commitment. A
that we
flimsy
know
one, but still a commitment.
it's still a commitment, and we know that guys, we're going to see him in summer league too. We will also, this is also a chance for us to look at some players. We will look at before summer league, because summer league, the Las Vegas summer league starts on the 9th of July. Still unclear if I will be out there or not, but we will be looking at some players that, could impact summer league, who we should be watching in summer league. So we have a lot of stuff coming for you guys through the offseason, but the next time we do a live should be next Tuesday, right as we start free agency for the first hour or so. We will do that. Don't expect a ton of movement from the Knicks at that time, but we'll see what can happen this year with free agency. Kev, I don't think the Knicks will lose Alvarado. I'd be stunned if he doesn't come back. A lot of people around the team I've talked to expect him to be back. It's just whether he opts in at $4.5 million or he opts out and takes a lower average annual value in his salary, but gets an extra year or two. That's going to be the big question with Jose Alvarado. But I would be stunned if Alvarado is not back as a Knick. The Knicks value him highly. They feel good about him. Stefan Bondi talked about this as well too.
Loves being in New York. Loves
being back home in New York.
Although I wouldn't lowball him, because I could see him having value.
Oh, somebody, especially how he played in the finals. Yeah,
right. Like I wouldn't lowball him either. Like don't take him for granted.
Kev says needs a Tuesday reminder. Hey Kev, man, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification. You'll get that reminder. We got you.
Or just follow us on social. We'll post it.
Either one. Follow us, D Henry TV, at Brian Fonseca, New York. You can follow us on socials. Last thing I'm gonna do, keep dreaming answers. Should the Knicks make a big trade? Because no NBA team has won back-to-back in a while. No, I don't think the Knicks should make a big trade. I do think they should possibly trade for a big. I will say that, but I don't think the Knicks need to make a big trade. The Knicks starting lineup, their top of their 6-7 man rotation is really good. It is championship level. They just, yes, I saw what you did there. They just, they don't need to do that. All right, that's it. I'm gonna go try to relax and watch some film on Cahill and Tyler Nickel. I'm gonna try to do some of that before tomorrow. I'm gonna
upload my Eddie Hearn interview. Subscribe on YouTube.
There you go. You said it's
Xander Zayas versus Jaron Ennis this weekend at Barclays, baby.
Right. That is this weekend. You know what's funny? I've been seeing as I was walking around near the Barclays. I've been around there the last couple of days.
I'm gonna be there
and
Saturday.
There's a bunch of flyers and stuff up for promoting. There was some other stuff they've got around there. So I was walking around the other day. So yeah, you're seeing a lot of stuff going up for that fight already too. That should be a good one on Saturday. That's gonna do it. Once again, thank you to everybody. Seriously, thank you to all of y'all that really rocked with us for 2 hours. So we'll see. Keep your eyes, as Brian said, on the two-way deals. The Exhibit 10's coming out. I'm sure we'll tweet and send some stuff out about that. But really, thanks to y'all for rocking with us for 2 hours in the second round of an NBA draft. We appreciate y'all. Your help keep New York Got Game going stronger and stronger. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And, keep the faith, guys. Keep the vibes. Go Knicks. This is just the road to them trying to go back-to-back. We'll see if they're able to do it. He's Brian Fonseca. I'm Dexter Henry. We'll catch you next time on another edition of New York Got Game. Peace, y'all.